Hello, everyone. I'm Dren Hatamata. There you go. How are you all doing today on this fine evening? I hope you're doing well. This Tuesday. So I am doing an episode of S&G, a podcast-style episode, or podcast-style show where we talk about things for shits and giggles. It's very loose. I just grab a whole bunch of topics and figure out what I want to say about those things. And I gather it up. And I think from now on, this is going to be the quote-unquote season ending. Since I have a, do it like that. Alright. So, since I have this right here, this is my list of things, and everything will now be considered marked out, and I'll have to redo this. I might do that at the end of stream. Gather all that up. I have a itchy little kitty. Yeah, I'm talking about you, Autumn. Anyway. So thank you all for who ends up showing up and all that jazz. We'll see how things go. Hopefully my my chatbot thing's working. Careful. So, some updates. I've been dealing with a bunch of shit, but my uploads on YouTube have been pretty damn decent, I dare say. Actually, I can go ahead and bring that up. So, it's been really interesting. So I've been able to go up weekly, 2 videos a week, weekly. One short a week, one VOD a week. And I haven't started on any of the actual videos I've been wanting to make, but because of what happened in November when I hit a fucking deer, I've been focusing on just keeping things simple enough that I can go ahead and get that. I haven't even done the other shit we were supposed to do with our tax return yet. Excuse me. Oh, excuse me. So, let's go to analytics real quick. Just to get a quick look. Yeah, 1K views in the last month. It's 265. Sonic sells, dude. It Sonic sells. There's no getting around that. It does. It was amazing. That I shot up over 500 views for a video. I was like, shit, I haven't had that in a long time. And keep in mind, I was just happy to get over fucking 10 views. For what that's worth. I don't know how much it's worth, but hey, I've been getting a pretty steady amount of views. The fact that I've gotten 1,000 views is just crazy to me. Yeah, it's over 1,000 views for the past month. 1,041. About an hour of watch. Hour and a, just a quarter under 2 hours. Could be a better percentage, but I mean, it's whatever. When you were talking about shorts and shit, you know, and not to mention VODs, they're a hefty one. But someone watched, I thought one of these videos, someone watched it. Yeah, there you go, half an hour. I'm like, stuck it out for that one. Well, this is the average, but someone, like, watched almost the entirety of one of these videos. It may have been this one or this one. I was like, geez. Not sure I would have fucking done that. But yeah, that's neat. It's pretty cool. But yeah. It was really interesting. It was crazy. I'm really liking how it's going. It's making me feel really good to finally have videos going out, and I need to get back and go ahead and all the streams that I've done and the shorts for them, I need to go ahead and set those up too. But yeah, no, it's making me feel good. At least there's something going up consistently. And consistency is absolute key to any content creation. So that's what I've been basically working on, is having that set up. I did have an issue late last year where I did hit a deer. It was totaled my car. And I've still been dealing with it, but today, actually, I noticed the gap insurance finally, after having to put one more fucking payment, finally paid off the rest of the loan. And so the loan was closed out. The loan account was closed out, and I was like, hell yeah! Now I'm still dealing with the rental, though. The rental third-party insurance, which tried to charge me $890, and I negotiated to pay what I didn't pay for my deductible, $450. And so I negotiated and said, hey, the only thing they didn't pay, really, was was what was left of physical damage, and I can pay that because it's my deductible. It'd be the right thing to do. And they're like, yeah, okay. Now I'm having to work with them begrudgingly because to pay on them, you have to have an account that I did not set up, that someone else has set up for me through my email address, because that's all you need. Someone set that up, and I need the password to it in order to pay the damn thing. God, that sounds sketchy as fuck. But I just want to pay it. I want to pay it, I want to have a receipt, and I want to be able to prove not only that I paid it, but if there's more payments that end up going towards it, that I have a legal case against them. Because third-party insurance that I looked up was really shady. There was only 5-star and 1-star reviews. All the 5-star reviews were the companies that used them for their insurance, and all the 1-star reviews were the people who had to deal with them after the fact. It was awful. My God. And my experience is okay, but I would still put a 1-star review. Because it's gross. It should have been only because my insurance already paid them, whatever. So I'm still dealing with that, but once I'm paid with that, I'll finally be done. We're going to be going to a concert this month. 16th, we're going to be seeing Disturbed. It's going to be great. Last Valentine's Day was an absolute hoot, so it's been about 2 months. We went to a rage room for the first time. I'm going to be honest, it was fucking great. I strongly recommend, if you get a chance to go to a rage room, by all means. Do that. Try it out. See if it's worthwhile. I'm sure it's not for everyone, but it's worth it. You know, in fact, the one that's local to us has BYOB, Break Your Own Breakables. All you have to do is make sure that you have safety stuff, like this one. You've got, this one actually has a face mask, but you have gloves, you have a suit, you have a helmet, and we got safety goggles. We were able to use our glasses, safety glasses. So, and you can just beat the shit out of it. Padded walls and everything. And I don't know if all places will do this, but we set up our own music, and we played that, and it was pretty great. Like, yeah, you have to break the shit out of things. Like, imagine having something that pissed you off so much that you're like, no, I'm getting a new one, I'm gonna break this one. You can do that. And it is glorious. And we decided we're gonna... One, I accidentally broke one of I think it was a 3-wood. I broke the actual wooden broad club part off. And I was like, oh, okay. I was worried that she'd be pissed off, but she was like, oh no, that just means it was working. And kind of said, oh, that guy is an axe. I think that'd be a little too dangerous. But in any case, yeah. It's really good. Go to your local rage room, try it out. It's worthwhile. They tell you the rules, they tell you what's going on. It's very easy to break a lot in a short amount of time. So we were taking in as much as we could. So yeah, definitely go for it. Therapy without a couch. Yeah. I mean, we took a fucking baseball bat and a club to it. If you got any other weapons of mass destruction, like a hammer or something, take that. She'll tell you what she doesn't want you to hit directly. And, you know, say, hey, if you're going to hit stuff, hit it in this direction or whatever. You know, be careful. She had this Mercedes door that was made out of, like, some strong steel. And said it's her longest standing thing. And, it's still holding up. it's still holding up. So I definitely want. We're definitely gonna go back. We're gonna bring our own stuff, and we're gonna leave everything. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of fun. Hopefully we're gonna do this like every 6 months if it's feasible, and that'll be friggin' great. That'll be friggin' great. Just search real quick. I just need that in my search results. So we did that, and we left. We were tired. We had dinner, and I think we ended up just going home after a shop or two, and said, "All right, we gotta chill out." That was tiring, and it was good exercise. Just be careful. Glass whenever glass can go everywhere. Glass, porcelain, plastic. I remember when I was having computer problems. Was it last year or the year before? I was so pissed off all the time about it. Once I finally got it fixed, I was like, God, I really hope I don't have to go through this shit again. So there was a computer case, and I beat the shit out of it. So that was a lot of fun. So hey, if you have an old computer, and you want to beat the shit out of it, by all means, you can take it, beat the shit out of it, take care of that fucking Windows Pavilion, that 1995 Pavilion desktop computer. Yeah, it's fucking great. Um, my wife and I have been playing plenty of video games, right? Plenty of video games. So what we've been getting a really good chance to is we cycle through them, and sometimes we beat games in succession. And we actually beat 3 games recently. Yeah, yeah. So we beat Bayonetta or Origins, Cereza and the Lost Demon. The way everything's set up is like they want to have more Bayonetta Origins games, and they might still. I don't know. Released for the Switch in when did it release? March 8th, 23. So about 2 years ago, just over 2 years ago, and we enjoyed it. So the game plays like each side of your controller is a character. So if you have it set up with the Joy-Cons, then each Joy-Con is basically one character or the other, which is really interesting. It's also very stylistic. It's got kind of like that paper thing where like the background of that is also like a texture that stays still while the lines around it move, which is really neat. And it does add into some of the story and everything. There's a lot going on. You see her developing her powers. You see some of her past. You get a shock at the end, as you tend to. And I really enjoyed it, but man, does it pull on the heartstrings if you love the Bayonetta games. And we've beaten the 3 main Bayonettas, and then we beat this, and I think there's another. Maybe not. I might be crazy. So, but it seems like they want more of these Bayonetta Origins, which I would be totally interested in. And I guess the playstyle was a little bit annoying. It was hard to get used to, but you could play it as a 2-player co-op by splitting the controllers on the Joy-Cons, while one person takes care of the beast, of the demon, and the other one takes care of Cereza. You could totally do that, and it would probably work well. It's a single-player, 2-player game, quote-unquote. So if you want to check it out, I definitely recommend it. It was a lot of fun. It was really quirky. Once you get used to the play style, there's not much you have to worry about. It saves frequently enough. It's not like you get thrown way back if you don't get far enough. So Definitely something to check out. And we also beat Earthbound. Oh my fucking god. So I didn't realize how far I had gone when I was playing by myself, which wasn't very far, by might I add. But there's so much to this game that it's just whatever your feelings are, it is super interesting. Released in 1994 in August. I believe it was Mother 2 when it came out in Japan. Yeah, Mother 2, Gaiku no Gai Gaikushu. Yeah. So when we played through it, it felt fairly regular, I guess. Was there a remaster? Beginnings, okay. Oh, is this an updated version of the first one? Because we also want to play Beginning. Oh, it's plus Beginnings. Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. So we haven't played Beginnings. Earthbound Beginnings, the one for NES. Well, but we weren't even aware that we had access to it till we looked on the Switch NES thing. So we'll probably try and play that eventually. Yeah, here we go, Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings. So Earthbound was the one we had, I think we had some access to. And my god, you want a stylistic batshit insane game that somehow retains some form of subtlety somewhere? That was a word salad. Here you go. You got this guy you can fight, you got this guy who you don't fight, and a monkey. I mean, Jesus, dude. So your little boy, who you find out has psychic powers, you run up to a meteor that landed in the middle of the night after having a nightmare or some shit, and a bee comes out after you get past all the police and everything. A bee comes out and he's like, "Hey, buddy, what you doing? You help me out? We're gonna save the world." And you're like, "Okay, sure, whatever. I'll just help save the world." Fucking, and then you find out you're fighting around, and so I got fucking psychic powers. I don't just have to beat everything with a bat, which is exactly what you do most of the time. And you run back, and you get attacked by Starman, which is what this guy is. He's a form of Starman. He's actually a bigger, stronger Starman. And you jump around, go like, you go and blah, blah, blah. Fucking words. There we go. That's Starman. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. And why is that marked out? Who the fuck are you? Whatever, whatever. Starman, he kills the bee boy, and he kills your bee friend, and he's like, "You have to go on, please. Don't let my death be in vain." And you're just like, yeah, "Okay, whatever." So you start going around and you realize, okay, I have to gather the sounds from these special spots that what is it? You find peace at them. I don't remember. It was like these are special points. You listen to the sound, and you have to do that in like there's 8 of them. There's 8 of them. God, I'm rambling. You run around. You find like, okay, there's the giant step. This is your melody place or fucking whatever. That's what you gotta do. Um, get out of the. 8 sanctuaries. There we go. There we go. Let me go back here. Uh, plot. Here we go. Buzz. That's what his name was. Okay. Pokey and Picky. The 2 weird fucking kids. You end up having a group of upwards to 4 people. You have to visit these sanctuaries, and you have to go to all these places. There's a place called Happy Village, and it's a cult of hooded men in blue robes who worship the color blue. Just change the word blue to white, And that is the allegory. I shit you not. There's nothing blatant that's said. They just like the color blue. But that's what you do. And then you realize, oh, that's what they mean. Now, does the creator actually mean it that way? I have no idea. That's how it came off to me. And there's a part where you have to fight the cops to prove that you're strong enough to go out on your own, even though you're still just a kid. But hey, you got powers, so it's all good. Okay, sure, whatever. And as you go forward, you go to a place where it's like, oh, it's the monster town. What's it called? Threed. Yeah, it's called Threed. You have Onett 1, Tucson 2, Threed 3, and Forsyth 4. And it was really disappointed that that's as far as it went with that thematic naming of towns. I thought it would have been better, but hey, whatever, right? Um, the music is something else. It's so confusing, and there's one of those that people use all the fucking time. It's one of the boss musics. Yeah, that one. Like, that one is used all the fucking time in memes, shorts, and shit. That's where it comes from. Now, as you get further in the game, things get a little bit more serious, but they get more batshit insane somehow. I had to go back around and make up for lost time because I had missed 2 of the sanctuaries. So I did things a little bit out of order, which I'm kind of interested, which was really interesting that it would allow you to do that. Continuing on, as I get towards the end of the game, because I really doubt that this is spoiler worthy anymore. But I guess I should let know that this is kind of spoiler. But like, hold on. Or Earth downed. I guess. There we go. There we go. There's a visual indicator that. All right. At this point, once it goes up on YouTube, if there's someone who hasn't spoiled it, then they can just go by. All right. So you're going around. You have Ness, Paula, Jeff, and Pooh. I didn't name these people. You could have named them, but that's what their standard names are. Pooh is like a martial arts guy, and Jeff is a tech wizard. Paula is your white mage, and Ness is your red mage, really. Red mage warrior. So you're running through there, right? They all have their like pivotal things that they can do, and they all have their individual inventory, which is its own goddamn mess that drove me up the fucking wall. It was really annoying because you'd have to transfer stuff because you'd have too much shit, but you wanted to keep a lot of that shit because it was super important. It's like, oh, I can actually friggin' heal myself like that. But then you run into the issue where it's like, I don't have any more space for some more important items, and I'd start throwing shit away or using it. But it's whatever. And you go through. You finally get all these 8 sanctuaries because outside of like the interesting things that happen in between, like learning how to teleport, taking a spaceship, using zombie flypaper to catch a bunch of zombies in tents and then fight said tent in order to relinquish the town from the evil that's around them. Not sure how that works. Um, hitching a ride with these musicians in order to help progress the plot, and they do a lot to help you, and you get some notoriety with them, which help you get into a club that you're really not supposed to be in. So you can watch this lady dance while they're playing in the background and stuff, and then you have to get to know the lady, and so you can get access to a certain building that you have to go in, and then you find out Pokey, this little brat that's living beside you, little bastard, is fucking somehow got power here, and he's apparently he's with Gygus, which Gygus is the big old baddie that's supposed to be trying to take over the world. And it's like, oh, okay. Okay, I guess. Um, Running around, you end up finding out that you have to fight him and the monsters he's taken care of because he's trying to help Gygus. Because there's something that Pokey wants, and he wants power where he doesn't have to get hurt and shit, and he's scared of death like a motherfucker. And frankly, as a kid, I don't blame him too much, right? You know, now, you do that, you go up these buildings, back and forth, and my god, when something's a maze, it is amazingly maze-like. Because it is very easy to get confused. And I got confused many times. Not everything was so incredibly obvious. But it's not nearly as bad as some games I've seen. So check it. You start leaving there, you go to some of these other towns, you find Mr. Saturn, which is really interesting because I didn't know what the fuck it was, but it's like these little alien creatures like that walk on whatever. Well, they're super smart. They have alien technology and shit. You meet a scientist, you meet Jeff and everything. There's the applicator who gives you little devices and shit. If I ever make a review, I promise it'll be far more cohesive than this. I promise. And with their inventions, it helps you progress the plot by literally having a pencil eraser, an eraser. These are machines that erase these big statues. There's many puns. There's this photographer that tells you to yell fuzzy pickles and takes a beautiful fucking picture of you, and then literally as he came in, flies out. It's like, okay, I guess that's happening. Which the first time takes you by surprise. Just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? But you go through these towns. You start saving. You end up saving a bunch of people, right? Well, the last town, which is like this underground land where there's dinosaurs and shit. Like seriously, like, dinosaurs and cavemen underneath the Earth's crust. Lizardmen. And so, well, they're not lizard men, but like it's like that kind of conspiracy stuff. It's like, oh, there's a whole land, which there's areas of the Earth where that is conceivable, closer to the poles, I believe, where that is something that's possible without just killing everything in there, because of how cool it can be. But that's neither here nor there. So I finally get everything that I need, right? I get all the sanctuaries. I have like some of the best equipment. Then you have to go back to the town of the Saturn people. The Mr. Saturns. You go there and say, hey, we need to send you there, but your bodies aren't going to really be able to go. And we're not sure you can come back. Right? Oh, no, wait. You go with once you get all the sanctuaries, you go to this one place, and you have this really lucid dreamlike trance thing. Or is that up there? I can't remember. You go through this dream sequence type thing, and you are running yourself back through a ton of the memories you've seen in the past. You talk with a lot of people that you know. You fight a lot of enemies that you're familiar with, but they're a little bit stronger. You have these courages that are these birdmen that help you fight, that help Ness fight. And you go through everything in this memory. It's kind of like Ness is losing himself, I guess? It's sort of. Oh, shit, I didn't share any of this. I can do that on this side. So... Fucking stare at me. So... You go through this dream sequence, then you go to the Saturn town of the Mr. Saturns. And something that I thought was really interesting was that when they say that, they basically have these robot bodies that take your soul, and they're saying that we're really not sure, one, how this works, and two, if you can even come back. We don't know what's going on. So, best we can say is bear with us. And see what you can do. okay, let's see how it goes then, I guess. And you just continue from there. So you're in these robots, you get there successfully, they're like, okay, now there's one more spot you're gonna have to go to. And then you go up to this metallic but organ-like way that is unfortunately suggestive, and that's when my wife and I realized, oh, we're at endgame. It dawns on us that we are about to beat this. And so we look up strategies and everything, because I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I am not that good at video games. Lo and behold. And while I'm doing that, I'm sitting there terrified that I don't have enough items because I can't go back at this point. Luckily, I do have some save states in case I do need to go back, but I don't want to have to do that. I'm kind of lazy about that. I run around. Yeah. I run around. And we finally get to where the end boss Gygus is at. And Pokey comes out of nowhere saying, hey, I'm not gonna let you stop this because I'm getting what I want. He's in this machine, and you find out this machine is something that preserves his life. And the heartbreaking thing is, he's actually at a point. He can't die. He can be defeated, but he cannot die. Like, you can't kill him. It's like the face of Bo. You just can't kill him. So you realize he's doomed to that, even if he can't stop you. And they defeat Gygus, which means he doesn't get what he wants either. Which is just fucking insane. Well, funny enough, after reaching out and finally beating Gygus, and you have to do this thing, and I would have fucking missed it. I really would have. Because I would not have realized that that's what was going on. Hi. Whoa, okay. I went to, fuck, who's this? I had to pray. I had to use Paula's pray. And she keeps praying. And basically it makes it to where it fends off his ability to do anything to you. Oh, shit. And I thought it was incredible. It really was. It was incredible. It was interesting. And there was so much. Because it goes by everyone and say, hey, I think I can feel them. Hey, I don't know what's going on, but if they need help, I'm giving them my help. Let's all pray together. You know, a place where prayer does work. Isn't that interesting? And everyone's doing that. You get a ton of people to help with this. And so all their power is going, and you're able to defeat Gygus with everyone helping you. And so there's just this real surreal time that's just like, this is what we are, this is what we can be. We're all together in this, otherwise we're all doomed. This isn't just about keeping them alive, it's about keeping everyone safe. So yeah, it was really interesting, and it's a game that, as terribly as I have explained it, I would recommend. It is a fever trip into I don't know what the fuck. I have no idea. I don't really understand it. But it exists. It certainly exists. And it's something that I would definitely recommend to anyone who wants to have an experience of a game that doesn't feel like any other game. It doesn't feel like like many games before it. If anything, it feels like a fever dream. It really does. The music and all the battle screens are weird. The backgrounds of every battle is so strange that I find myself getting a little bit mesmerized, and I think that was the point. I think that was on purpose. And I would definitely recommend whatever you can do, whatever you think you can do, totally check it out. I don't think you'd regret it. I don't think anyone will regret it. Okay, I don't need that. So, if you have a chance to play it, you got a Switch, you can play it. If you have an emulator, you can probably play it. Right now, emulators are about to shoot up in popularity thanks to what's going on with the Switch 2, but we'll get to that later. Another game that we beat was Paper Mario 64, so we beat Super Mario and the Thousand Year Door. And we were playing Super Paper Mario, but we got stuck at this point where I have no idea what I was doing wrong, and that's its own thing. So, coming out in 2000? Yeah, 2000. August 11, 2000. Okay. Coming out 11, 2000. I was a little bit spoiled by hold on. There we go. And Earthbound spoiler. There it goes. Okay. That should be fair, right? That makes enough sense. I hope so. Um So, this game to me was fairly bizarre. Now, having been spoiled by Thousand Year Door and what it could do, I found it really hard to play this game without wanting to do the things I could do in Thousand Year Door. But that's a me problem. I fully took responsibility for that being a me problem. But I will say that it seemed like Thousand Year Door was everything they would have done with Paper Mario, if they had already had the foresight. It's basically like they're fixing all the issues they had. That, at least that's what my opinion was. So it was really interesting to see what the limitations were and where they went with it and why. Now, the characters effectively match each other between both games, and there is so much character to these games, and I definitely recommend them. It is another Save the Princess from Bowser story, whereas Thousand Year Door is different. You have different bad guys and everything, but this is still saving from Bowser. Bowser is the ultimate bad guy. So there's not much to spoil from that. It's pretty obvious. But you have so many characters. You have eight, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 characters. 8 side characters. Yeah. And you can level them up twice. And they get upgraded. The issue I did have is that I don't feel like a lot of them were utilized as well as they should have been. If you know, because the game has a lot to offer for the characters that you don't often use in battle. I barely used Paracarry in battle. I don't think I really ever used Bow in battle. Um, and everyone else was like very specific scenarios in battle. So I feel like even then they still should have been able to do it. Actually, it was really interesting because I've watched. Go ahead and just look it up. Super Mario Bros. Z. And I was wondering, where the hell did all that come? Did some of those assets come from? And these come from the Superstar Saga, I believe, mostly. And then I don't know which Sonic game the Sonic characters come from. But what I found really interesting is the stars come from this game. I didn't know that they come from Paper Mario 64. So I was like, hell yeah. Now it's something I understand. And by the way, I do recommend Super Mario Bros. Z by Alvin Earthworm. originally on uh, Newgrounds, which is probably the best way to watch them. A while ago, they upped their data limit for uploads, so he was able to remake some of the episodes, and that's a lot of fun. Superstar Mario. The fuck? Oh, weird. First episode dated 2006. UK. Is he? Is he European? I don't know. Is a British fan made? It is. No shit. Well, Alvin Earthworm or Mark Hines? Hines? Yeah, I believe it's Mark Hines. That's his channel on YouTube, and he still every once in a while something comes up. But I would definitely recommend starting it on Newgrounds because you actually have control over that shit. And it is so much fun, and I definitely recommend it. But I'm getting off topic. Paper Mario. I did have to look up the guides because I got very confused. Some of the conveyance wasn't as good as I thought it would be. Now, don't get me wrong. There was parts I was like, oh, I'm just not doing that well. And I was very aware of it. But there's a lot where it's like I had to talk to a specific character and a specific with a certain character, and I was like, oh, okay, I just start cycling shit. But it was super creative. It didn't have as much of that. There wasn't as much as of that theater feel as they pushed in uh, Paper Mario: Thousand Year Door, which I think I would have appreciated if they had done that because when you open up the title screen, that's how it opens, is like a theater style play theater type thing. And I'm surprised they didn't go ahead and stick with that. With that, I could have understood if they couldn't do the audience thing or didn't think to do that. I think it still would have been interesting if they had went ahead, broke through, and said, no, we can make it look like we're looking at a play. Because everything is already done in that style to begin with. But with the sequel, it does use it really well. So, can I fault them? A little bit, just for kind of like overlooking some stuff that I don't think they should have overlooked so easily. But it's really not that big of a deal. It would be just pure aesthetics. But with the aesthetics that it does have, I think it does an incredible job with. Here we go. Yeah, right here. I just pulled up the video. Okay. All these stages are so colorful and interesting. I wish more of the stages themselves were utilized. Because even though it would take me a while to figure shit out, or to level up enough to be able to do what I need to do, I found myself wanting more from each level. There should have been more. And not necessarily that it had to be bigger, but that there should have been more to do, in the sense that, hey, there's a lot more you can fit, and you can make some interesting things, especially dealing with all of their different powers, instead of... You basically make a lot of the characters like, oh, you basically just use them here. And then you're done. And it's like, oh, I thought there'd be more. It's like, nope, too bad. No way. But I wanted more. I want more. You have a Toyland right here, and it's so interesting. Can I zoom in more? I want more zoom. And you're in there. You're in a toy chest, and you're like, there's so much more you could do with that. Like, you could build your... I understand it's Paper Mario, but you could do a thing where you build up a little bit more and expose more blocks to do more secrets, even if they ultimately don't actually do anything. I still think it would have been worthwhile. It was a little less forgiving than I expected. I would have expected a bit more grace from some of the boss fights, because if you don't follow it specifically on the pattern that it will eventually lay out to you, you may end up redoing it over and over again until you understand, oh, okay, I'm supposed to do that. Also, there's a cap on badge points, and I hate that. I don't remember if there's a cap on badge points in in Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, but if there was, get rid of that. You don't need a fucking cap on that because there's so many fun things you can do with that. And if you're worried about the difficulty, you can make it more difficult. You can ramp it up. If you really had to, you can make it to where it's a little bit under each level or whatever of progression for boosting yourself with the badges. There's ways that you could have gotten around that, and I think they should have utilized that. Um, I didn't explore as much of this game as I did Thousand Year Door because after a while it just started feeling a bit like a chore. And I started to lose care, and I didn't want to have that experience where I didn't like it, where I stopped liking it or whatever, so we went ahead and just beat the game as is, even though there was plenty to do. That I could have went around, I could have, with each character and said, okay, I'm gonna figure out where all the secrets are. Didn't want to do that. I stopped giving a shit, and I was just like, okay, I just need this to continue. But no, it's a good game. If you're going to play the series entirely, I would start with this one, so that way you don't feel spoiled by the next ones. Because the third one doesn't even utilize the turn-based combat, from what I remember. That one is like a platformer. So, take that for what you will. I hear Dryer Coon. Okay. So, alright, but yeah, it's a good game. There's not really much, like I said, there's not really much spoiling it. Bowser's the bad guy in this one. It'd be more spoiler if I tell you the bad guy in any of the other ones. So, we'll continue on. But I'm really glad we beat these 3 games. We're still playing through Breath of the Wild, and I got spoiled by Tears of the Kingdom. We're playing Homebody, game from people from the Game Grumps. I was able to get a physical copy, and I was really happy about that. It is a really good game. I recommend downloading it if you get a chance, because I don't think there are any more physical copies unless you can buy it from someone else. Oh yeah, we finally found a local retro game shop that we probably need to go back to when we get a chance, if it's feasible. Oh, excuse me. So, we didn't know that it had opened up like 6 months ago at the time it was during Valentine's Day. Oh shit. I need to get some more water. Or tea or something. So we go in there and we're like, oh my god, this is a place, and like we made sure to leave with something, so we ended up getting Spyro the Dragon, uh Firefly Thousand Fireflies or whatever. Year of the Dragonfly, that's what it was. And we got the first Kingdom Hearts for PS2, both of them for PS2. Which is just fucking great, because what more do we want outside of preservation? We want to be able to have these games ourselves as well. I'm sorry, but if game companies don't get on with preservation, all they're going to do is boost the indie game, which isn't a bad thing in and of itself. It's just that they're going to fall because indie game creators are going to be creating things that we can just play from Steam, from itch.io, from whatever download libraries that exist, Galaxy of Games. You have all these options to get all these indie games from, and most indie games aren't charging you a fucking arm and leg for it. So it was really interesting. So I spread some cards around for them. They even have like some old retro t-shirts. They had Pokemon cards, they had cars and toys and shit. And like, of course, we're mostly interested in the video games, right? Well, they have like 3 other locations or something. And we'd be interested in going if they weren't so far away, but we definitely want to go back, and we hope they get a better location than the one they have in that specific area. Because they're like, yeah, we have too much shit, and hey, let me smash in the chat. Yeah. It makes me laugh, so I still do it. Um, So yeah, I really hope that those guys get enough money to either buy out the rest of that suite so they have more space, which would be friggin' great, because there's a nail salon and a title loan place. There's plenty of nail salons all over the fucking area. There's plenty of title pawns that probably would be better off not existing. Because I know they serve a purpose, but I don't think that it's very lucrative to do anything with them. Maybe I don't understand it enough, but there's a title loan places all over. So I'm not gonna feel bad if one goes down. I just hope that they don't have to suffer. They can find another job or something. I would like to bring back, more retro game shops, because Second and Charles, they're rare, and also they charge more than what they should for a lot of that stuff. And then I have no idea if they can tell the difference between uh, original cartridge or reproduction cartridges. I don't know the difference, and I don't know if they know the difference. Now, don't get me wrong, I'll buy reproductions. It's still game preservation. I thought about buying some reproductions of some of the GameCube games that we don't have. Because if I can get a bunch of reproduction discs, physical copies, for like, I don't know, 10, 20 bucks a piece, I'll totally do that. But I'm not spending $2,000 on Pokemon Coliseum. I'm sorry. For what likely isn't original anyway, only because they have the case. And they don't have the manual or some shit. Because that's the one I saw. And I was like, I don't think it's supposed to be gray like that. I thought it was yellow, but I don't know. In any case, it's going to be on the GameCube online, which is something I've been incredibly anticipating. And I was sitting here getting ready to find some emulator ROMs and hacks or whatever, because I want them. I want GameCube games. They're friggin' great. There's so many good ones. Oh man. Okay. So something I've been excited to talk about is I've been learning to draw. That's right, I've been learning to draw. So without further ado, let me go ahead and bring it up. Alright, so here's what I've been doing. So I started off with... That's not the first one, is it? This is out of order, isn't it? I think it is. Is it? I don't know. Okay, so I think I started... Oh, shit. I need to unlock my damn tablet. Okay. Give me the thing! Okay, there we go. Alright, okay. What's going on? I don't know what's... Okay. There we go. Okay, so I just started trying to learn to draw, and I just kind of was winging it, seeing what I could do, trying to figure out what's what, how these things work. And just running a bunch of experiments, practicing with tools, seeing what I can do. Hold on. Get me in the... Oh, right. I need the layers real quick. I really love that I can do this. Also, I wonder if... Hold on. The hell? Yeah, okay, so it's not a perfect projection, so I don't think I can draw just yet. I need to... There we go. I don't know what happened to these layers. Okay, there we go. I just never put them back on, I guess. Those 14 layers. Alright. So yeah, uh, this one, most of what I've done so far is trace art. So this was traced from a picture of me that I did at a bar, and then I just edited the hair so that way it was my hair. Uh, this was a trace job of Pikachu. Oh, I can still see how some of these lines kind of suck. But it's a learning process. This is trying to practice and use my hand, using different sizes of lines, trying to figure that shit out. Oh! This was just something to skew something dynamic and more blur tools and stuff like that. Trying to figure out how to work that. It's supposed to be a bunch of people that are camping on the beach with a little fire, and there's a boat in the distance, and there's some clouds or whatever. And ordinarily this would be dark, but whatever. I was trying to do an Aaron, something with Aaron Hansen with Solid Snake, just to doodle something. And then this I found was much more interesting. I took a square that was and made it into 5x5 panels, so I had to draw 25 things, 25 different things, and that's what I did. So I just started from there and went line by line, drawing whatever came to mind first. That's what that was. I might bring this up later if I see anyone else jump on stream. Like if I have any if I get any friends who like raid or they mention anything, I want because I really want to show off what I have been doing. But yeah, I took a grid and I just made it to where I could see 25 squares, and I went on from there, and that's where this came. So there's a little me, but kind of in Raptor style. This is Kid Muscle. This is just some chick stretching. This is an Aaron head. This is some dude farting. I don't know what this is. It's supposed to be another version of me, some kind of bird. I forget who this was, but I'm pretty sure it was one of the guys in uh, Super Paper Mario for the Wii. This guy's stealing cookies. This is some bacon sizzling. This guy's staring the fuck out of you. This duck's calling you a bitch. This is a guy going Super Saiyan. This is someone yelling. This was supposed to be a perspective of a town. That's a Yosh. I forget what that's supposed to be. This guy is panicking and forgot something. This guy is a pompadour. This is one of those like, oh, this is a darkness thing where he's wallowing or whatever. I think these are supposed to be flower buds. This is Zero and Jack Skellington. This is a guy who's eyeing this muffin because something's not right about it. This is a guy with a cape for no reason, jumping like Mario. This is a really shitty version of Earthworm Jim. And this is your uncle. This is the PNG uncle that you can just dance around with. Is looking over a hillscape on top of a building. There's clouds. This is a shitty version of the Triforce. I don't know what this is, but it's an eye. This is like the different frames of if you were doing motion. And then some kind of apple with a different form of trying to use shading by using scratches, because I was interested in seeing how that worked. Someone who's depressed and some squigglies. What the hell am I even drawing? I just thought that was funny. Guy eating a burger or sandwich. The Deku Tree, Navi, and Link. And then this one I inverted color so that way I could erase to make some kind of bird thingy. And I don't even know what I was doing, but I did it. I thought it was good practice to try and draw something on the fly. I figured that was important. Was it? Is it worth it? I don't know. I drew courage. This was traced. This is absolutely traced. I don't want to make any mistakes about that. I traced this. Just to be absolutely sure. So, however good it looks is not as good as I wanted it to look, because I still see some spots where I'm like, oh, that looks terrible. But I'm finding a lot of this was really awkward, because it doesn't feel like what I'm drawing. So it was just really weird. But I also used a stabilizer on this, and I did not like the stabilizer. And what I ended up doing was constantly drawing a line, erasing it, drawing a line, erasing it, drawing a line, erasing it, because it didn't look right. So that's like there. And then that's when I made a decision with this. Alright, so check this out. I want to go into this one. How many layers? Okay, so there was a thing I started with. And, here we go. Alright, so all these layers exist, right? So there's this one. And I just made it no longer as dark. And I just kept doing that. So what this was that I was taking all my lines. I made a whole bunch of lines. And I just wanted to make it so that way I knew I could practice something. So all these lines, this is the only one that's the only layer that's not supposed to be. So I took all these lines. No, not that one. Let's go back to the bottom. And I just practiced. I practiced drawing those lines several times over and over and over again to try and make it more tight, more accurate, and stuff like that. So these were drawing exercises that I was doing. So I put the whole alphabet, I put all the numbers, I did a bunch of lines from different areas, a bunch of circles that I tried to do. And I did that so I could practice all my different curves, lines from different angles, a foot there, a cylinder here, squares, upside down triangle. Like, all just a bunch of stuff to, Nope, nope, nope. Don't do that. The fuck? How do I... Whatever. So... I would go in and I would look at the next one. And then start making some comparisons. I would compare... That's like the Game Freak logo. And then I would just do that same thing. And I would turn this one down. And then try and draw over it. And then I would get the next one. Turn this one down. Draw, and then draw over it and see how more tight I get on it, how accurate I get, or how do I need a correction. And so I did this for a few days, and just to practice the feeling of drawing. And my muscles in my hand and arm were hurting. I didn't realize how much of a person's body can actually go into drawing. So that was really enlightening. I would argue I did better and better, getting straighter lines, more accurate. Sometimes all these lines were meant to be fast, like the circle, one, just over and over again. So that way I could just keep everything jiving as I needed to. So that way I could get everything closer in. How do I fucking zoom? Whatever. And yeah, I like to think that it ended up pretty damn good. Like, figuring this shit out. I think it worked really well in my favor. You can see all the different colors and how far I came. I had the idea of doing this every day, but I decided against it. I decided not to. Now, it won't let me... It won't let me do that. I have to use the mouse. Let's minimize that. Okay, whatever. Alright, let's go back. Go to the next one. Oh yeah, this was a little, this was like actually a little animation because I didn't realize that I had that ability on here. So I just did a little few second thing. I don't know if that looks good to you. I tried to remember what I've heard about trying to draw something like that. It's 1 second. It is 1 second of motion. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that's right. You can see how long it, I can play it for you when as I was drawing. So yeah, I was trying to draw another person again, and I was like, okay, this isn't working out. I'm not getting something. So I found that really interesting. So that's when I decided I'm gonna do things like this and just drawing over and over and over these things. Damn, my throat's getting dry. Alright. And there I am. I'm just when I decided to change the colors, and that's how it's going off on this. I also really like being able to come and look back at how all this worked out. Because I was not really expecting anything to really click, but I started really enjoying what I was doing when I was starting to learn to draw. This was a little hectic to get through, but I mean, what have you. Got red. And I was just trying to go through all the colors as best I could with what I could actually see. Because yellow I couldn't see at the time. Not that well. Certain things I'm trying to draw a little bit better. God, it feels like it's not going fast enough. Damn. How'd this one go? Gotcha. Okay. And then, yeah, that's that. So, yeah, okay. And how long did this one take? Not really that long, considering I put way more time into other pieces now. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure shit out. Okay, yeah. One thing that I still don't quite understand is like when you're drawing people. Like one of the things is I'm just trying to draw something. I don't really have an idea of what I want to draw. So I find myself questioning everything. And I really don't know what I want. But like I'm drawing something for my wife, and that's turning out really well, comparatively. Yeah. Done. Alright, back. Yeah, okay. So then I did Bulbasaur. Kinda? I really don't. Oh, this was something I was trying to do without using a stabilizer. That's right. This was without using a stabilizer. That's right. And I was like, because I really didn't want to use that. And I really don't like the way it turned out. I really don't. This is effectively unfinished. I just don't like it. I don't like it, man. Oh, there's a Shao. I took a picture, traced it, and then drew it out as best I could. This was cute and adorable. That's right, I was trying to learn how to do the basic lines and then the actual line art. Get the shapes and everything. Trying to reproduce fur. Approximately. And I think I erased a lot of the lines. I don't remember. Oh, that's right. I was figuring out how you can use the layers to do what you want to do. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that came out pretty good. Oh, and that's when I had to change the friggin' thing so I knew what I was drawing. Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah! Damn. Alright. Oh, the shield. This took me a while. So this was something interesting. This was I've got this banner. Oh, I tried to draw a person first? Oh yeah, that's right. I was trying to go through a tutorial. And I fucking hated it. I don't know what that was. Some cartoon shit. And then I decide to... That's so weird. Why? Oh, this is when I started using the mirror tool. That's right. I was using the mirror tool to try and get this as close as possible because I didn't want it to look fucked up. So that copy down there is the banner version. That's I've got the banner in my room of that shield, and then I just cut that out. And so I'm just going through all the lines trying to fix it all up. You can see where it's like imperfect and everything, and it's just like, oh, it's kind of garbage. Oh, I hate it. But I like the way the lighting made it look. Getting the color as best I can. I don't like the way the lighting works on any of this. Because some of the lighting on this didn't make any sense to me. I didn't understand it. Maybe that's an issue that's just me. But I tried to get it as close as I could with the tools. But is it just me? Like, compared to what's down here, it doesn't look like it works that way. It looks like they got the shading wrong. I will say that this is the one that taught me that sometimes you're just gonna have to erase shit. Sometimes you just need to erase some shit. You're not gonna you can't always get away from that. And this is when I was really utilizing different layers properly as I could. Because I would set it up so that way I was doing things in a way that I can see, okay, this is what affects that, this is what affects that when it's over it, but I can also take it off and put it back on if I need to so I can see if it's looking right. Hmm. Yes. Once I get towards the end, I realize that it looks really cool. That's right, I'm still trying to fix this shit up. It looks better without the lines. It looks even better without color, just when it's just shading. Which I was really impressed by. Like, you end up making something that you didn't realize has better aspects to it than you expected. Um, some of this looks erroneous. What am I doing? Oh, this is when I'm like fucking around with it. Yeah, that's right. I don't think this ever looked right to me. Because it's meant to look real. I mean, it is drawn. Certainly could have looked worse. Let me go into this one. Yeah, because this one I really liked. When you take off the color. Or no, hold on. Take off the lines. Here you go. Take off the lines. I was like, wow, that looks sick. It looks really cool. It's not perfect because it's not filled in where the lines aren't, which I think is a layer issue. That if I moved it down and then filled it in, then it would make a little more sense. But then take away the color, and then it's fucking sick. Can I make that? I mean, that looks pretty cool, but the dark part of it looks really great. Just, yeah, man. Yeah, I thought that looked fucking cool. You see everything here, but it's just not just something. It's something else, man. What is it? Oh, textures. Oh, I can do textures. I haven't looked at any of this. I haven't paid any attention. I didn't know I had that. Anyway, maybe I'll figure something out about that later on. Okay, let's get out of this. And then some more practicing. This song I'm really proud of. So this was. So I read a book by Arquardo, who is. Yeah, he's streaming right now. Arquardo. He's streaming Into the Other World of Longest Journey. So he wrote a book called In Her Heart. And this is a scene very early on. And it's between 96 minutes worth of actual drawing. So this was a lot of fun. I really like this, and I'm going to make it a speed paint, I think, on my channel. Because this is completely free-handed. I did all this free-handed. This was the first actual original piece that I have made, and it was for his book. And I'm really proud of how this turned out. Because although I'm going to look back eventually and I'm going to think it sucks, I'm still like, this is where it starts. So this ended up being a lot more than I expected. A lot more to do. And when I realized that, I was just like, okay, the only way I'm getting past this is just to do it. There's just no getting around it. Like, to make art, you gotta fucking draw. And so I did. That's basically what I did. Um, and I realized that, okay, so the scene is stuck in my head, and I want to get it on paper. I had to figure out which direction I wanted it, and what I'm going to do about it. And I decided on this perspective, looking outward here, and making different layers to everything. So I was taking the vivid scenery and remembering the scene where this lady is getting attacked by one of the ruts. Now, it's the wrong rut. It's supposed to be the potato. Explanation another time, I suppose. Or you can read his book. He also has some other pictures of it. that he drew himself, and I just got really infatuated really quick with it. I really did, like a lot more than I expected, and it just like really threw me in. This is when I'm realizing my perspective doesn't look right. So I'm realizing I need these can't be all straight. Some of these need to be skewed. I realize that I'm realizing so much on how all this can work. Like I did all these fucking lines right here, and then this in the back has to be something. I really considered just making it dark, that you can't see anything back there, but like that doesn't make sense. So I'm making all these little details and shit, and now I'm realizing I just need to draw in there, and that's its own layer. I just need to draw something in there. And so I started making something, trying to figure out perspectives and where things should be aligned as best I can. Trying to kind of keep an understanding of what it looks like. And I keep realizing that this doesn't really work. And I'm at the point where I'll get back to it. I'll get back to it. I'm just trying to get all these details done for the most part. Here's the monster. So this is actually the string bean. So this is the string bean rut. And this is the one that's on the front of In Her Heart. And let me get to. And that's what I based this one off of. And at first it was a lot more direct. So sign in. Should already be signed in. The fuck? Okay. Shit. The fuck? Okay. Hold on. I can do this. I can figure this out. Oh wait. You know what? It might be in his. I wanted to go ahead and share a link uh to his book in my chat. Yeah. There we go. I got my monster for the most part. I'm gonna go back and redesign it, and then I'm making the person who's getting stabbed in the leg. It's supposed to be some lady, and this is when I learned how to do boob stuff. I'm learning to make boobs, make a boobs. I make a boobs. Someone taught me like, oh, you gotta remember how boobs are not circles. They are not circles. I can't stress that enough. Boobs are not just circles. All right, where is? And then here we have the whole mantle. This is what you're seeing through. I really did like the way this came out. Copy. Paste. There we go. I can just copy this. Share. Copy link. And then jump back to Twitch. Paste. There we go. In her heart. And I'll do a uppy arrow. That should be. Let me make sure that actually works. Yes, okay, so that link does work. RQ Espinoza. And you have two forms of it. You have the hard copy and you have the Kindle copy. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, I'm finally fucking shading shit, or coloring shit. I was so happy to get to coloring. I really was. 262 pages. Yeah. Yeah, this is a this turns into a rainbow. When I realize I need to get the colors right. This is hard to tell because this gets covered up. I decided that it was way easier for me just to go ahead and draw everything that needed to be there. Because otherwise, I'm going to sit there and get really confused and just keep contemplating. It's like, if I just go ahead and draw everything, it'll be much easier for me later. So that's what I did. I just went ahead and fucking drew it. So, yeah, it ended up a lot better. What's going on there? I can't tell what's going on where I'm doing touches. Okay, there we go. There's something. Yeah, a big chunk that's ripped out of that. Oh, you know, yeah, I should have had just a little sliver of the orange. Damn. So yeah, I'm looking at that shit now. Okay, it just keeps pausing. I see. Now I'm adding the shading to these layers. Cool. Like I said, I am really happy on how a lot of this turned out. So, you know, I think looking back at these buildings, I think I could have colored them a little bit better for their kind of rustic, dirty look. I think it would have been better if I had done something different with these colors or blended them a little better at least. Because part of the issue is like all this kind of has to look like a tone. And I thought about just putting a filter and blanking it everything except for behind the window that would be in the building with us. But I was trying not to overcomplicate shit. Like, you already see me like trying to make it look like there's dirt everywhere and dust. You're looking at me like that, Autumn. Alright. Oh yeah, the finer details. Oh yeah, that's right, because I realized when I realized more about how this monster how these monsters, these ruts are supposed to be, I went into it a little bit more in depth. And I was like, okay, I need these to look a certain way. I can't remember if this was a point where I'd actually talked to RQ or not. I don't remember. But I did draw the shit out of this to try and make it as accurate to how it is, because I did talk to him a little bit in his streams. I wasn't sure if this was supposed to be like an outer skin or a t-shirt, so I drew it to kind of look like both, if need be. Little girl. It has a stab wound. It has vines coming out the eye, because there's a thing with the eyes. It's a thing that happens with your eyes, and that'll be explained in the book somewhat if you get a chance to read it. But yeah, this is the point where the main protagonist and his quote-unquote uncle, who is a stuffed animal at the time, that can get explanations, gets stabbed. This lady's getting stabbed and is begging for help. And she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't know how to tell anyone. You're the only one she can see, or she can't see you, but she knows that they're there. So she's just trying to get help. She's going to die. This rut is trying to get her, consume her, change her, or whatever. There's still more to the ruts that I want to learn. I didn't get everything I would have wanted yet, but there's more to the world, and if RQ ever makes another book, then there will be more explanation of it. I think it would be more on the third, though. Oh yeah, I want to change where it was because it didn't feel like it aligned as well because everything was right in the way. Which is the neat thing about layers. You can just move shit. Oh yeah, realizing what I need to do with the glass. Yeah. Yeah. This turned the glass a way that made a lot more sense in my head. Because then you get the little refraction look with all the light. And it's not white, it is slightly blue. It is ever so slightly, it is a very, very light blue. As is most of the rest of this glass. And all this glass is lined with white, so that way it looks like it's a little shinier. And I'm going to be honest, the shading is not as even as I want it to be. Someone mentioned that I probably could have used watercolors and it would have worked better. Because I'm mostly using a smearing tool. A smearing and blending. To try and make it look the way I want. But, I still think it did well. It's just, when you're looking at the shading, you're wanting kind of more. Here I am realizing I need it blanketed. So this... Yeah, there we go. Okay, we're not too far away from this. So I am... At this point, everything's starting to come together. I've got everything kind of where I want it. This should have been a little darker down the back side of this, I think. I'll try giving it some lighten up on that. And then there's Cheeky. I had to redo these lines several times. So, God, I wish I could get rid of that. I could zoom in or something. What are you doing? Scratching up my furniture. Alright. This is where I'm trying to make it look the way I want it to. It's not looking, so I use the system to erase things I don't need. Stop pausing. Well, it's having a hard time keeping up. Alright, there we go. There we go. Just trying to look through everything and make sure that it's looking right. And this is the effective final product. I just have my signature down here on the ones I posted, so yeah. There's nothing you can do. You have no power. The other guy is wounded like a motherfucker. They would just all die. And so it sucks because there's nothing you can do about it. So yeah, and this is the first one, and it... Oh, no, it was further down. Okay. And then I am creating this for my wife. And this is becoming an incredible chore. Wait. Oh, what the hell? Whoa, what the hell? Whoa. So this took me 96 minutes? And then this I've already put 263 because I've had to redo so much stuff that instead of just Control Z, or the erase feature, I would, or you know, the erase function, I would just keep erase and redraw, erase and redraw. And this is going to be my wife's. So yeah, no, I've been drawing, and this is the beginning of it. I think next I'm gonna try and do Linus from Stardew Valley, possibly, or maybe Kamari. I don't know, Kamari from Final Fantasy X. So I'm figuring things out. It's really interesting. I really want to see more of what I have to do, and then at some point I would like to try animation a bit, because one of the issues that I have is I don't have consistency. Anything you've seen me draw on here, I don't have consistency yet. So like I need to get in mind like the length of an arm, the length, how big a hand is, how big a foot should be, depending on the character or whatever. Because I realized that for years I had been underdrawing hands. Hands are the size of your face. Hands are bigger than I kept was giving them credit for. What the fuck was I doing? Underscoring hands. And same thing with feet. Feet are large. They're bigger than we give them credit for. Paws, on the other hand, are small. They are not as big as your face. Or are they, Autumn? No, they're not. So this is an interesting learning experience, because you can see like that's the approximate size of the paws. These are approximate size of the paws. They're not as big as the face, but hands are as big as your face. They should look comparable to your face. If they don't, then it's not going to look right. Your hands are going to look like this shit. They look way too small. These need to be way bigger, because these are like half the size of my face right here. Why? I don't know. Now it looks like I have massive forearms and tiny little hands. Because it seemed like at first hands didn't need to be that big, but they are, because I want my hands to look like slender. I don't want them to look fat as fuck. They don't have to look fat as fuck. They just have to look proportional. That's all that is. As long as they look proportional, it'll be alright. So yeah, I've already fucked up right there. But that's what these are. These are learning experiences to realize what needs to happen. What needs to happen. So that it's incredible. I think it's really interesting. So I've posted some of this to online. Let me go ahead and trim that. So let me go ahead and blue sky. Go to my page, profile, and media. So, come on, where is it? There we go. So there's one. This was fed through a AI poison filter, and then I kept posting updates on it because I was really happy with the way it was turning out. Yeah, it's just really interesting. Yeah, there we go. There's the book. Yeah, this is one way back when, 2 months ago, when I was on chapter 5. No, it didn't take me long to read it. I was just reading it. I read it at work, just for what that's worth. I'll just go ahead and repost stuff. Turned out really good. Let's trace the initial shapes. Yeah, so again, I was like learning how to get past the tracing stuff. Oh yeah, this is one of the concepts, like it had lines across it, and I was like, oh, that looks kind of cool, but not really. Self-deprivation. Oh yeah, that's right. It snowed a while back. Yes. This is a trace job. This was not a trace job. This was a trace job. This was a trace job. Here's an actual picture of me to compare. I don't know. How did I do? How does it compare? Real me? Dren me. Yeah, that made it look weird. That needed to be like that. That's why it didn't look right. Was there any more? Okay, and then there's the first thing. Oh, this was the first thing that I drew. Right. For Christmas. Just because I was like, I need to get to where I've drawn something. This was just a real quick and filter or whatever. I did that real quick. Give me a hug. Well, actually, this is the first thing. This is just something to learn shape shading and something that's super basic. But yeah, no, this is what I'm learning. I think it's turned out pretty well. I mean, I don't know if I should be careful not to toot my own horn, but I mean, shit, dude. Yeah, if you get a chance, check out In Her Heart. I think it's 30% off right now. And he just wants to get it out. Get the book out, get it to more hands, more people. I don't know if it's... Will it tell me how many have sold? 6 years. You can also get it on Kindle. Get a digital download. It's got 2 ratings. 5 stars. 2 reviews. I mean, I can go ahead and read you the thing. In Her Heart, Book 1. After being trapped in an alternate universe filled with zombie-like monsters called ruts, a teenager named Ezekiel Alvarez, must do whatever it takes to escape this hell-like world and save his kid cousin from an evil corporation called Cognitive Behavioral Extraction, aka CBE. However, he doesn't go on this journey alone. He is accompanied by his 3-foot cat named Cheeky. The story starts off as a normal day for a high school senior, until he receives a disturbing visit from his uncle, Francis, who informs him about his family member's disappearance, only to find out that it's just the beginning. Will he ever escape? Will he save his cousin? How did he even get here in this dystopian universe in the first place? And there you go. That's the synopsis. I wish I could see how many of these have sold so far. Because I know there's more than 2. There's a few of them. Is there a way to look at that? Anyway, I'm gonna keep pushing it. I like to think I'm friends with RQ. I need to check on him in a day or two. Make sure he's alright. So I'll probably do that. But yeah, I will probably come back and once, because I'll be really excited to get done with this. There's gonna be clothes, so there's no like explicit nudity as it is, but again, I realize that sometimes you just need to actually see something done. Like, even if it's gonna get covered up, even if there's gonna be clothes, just go ahead and do the whole thing. And it makes it easier because you don't have to worry about how much do I need to draw. You don't have to worry about how much there is left to draw. You just draw it. Because this... Yeah, this ended up being... I'm not sure if this is completely blank or not, but I got at least 27 layers. Oh, you know what? This is my signature down here. That's what that is. Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's my signature. Gotcha. So yeah, there's that. All right. Kind of got a little bit of a late start, but when we come back, I'm gonna talk about Spotify for a little bit, and then I'm gonna break down. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about Spotify, and I'm gonna talk about Magic the Gathering for a bit. And I'm going to talk about my thoughts on the Switch 2. So that's to come. But I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I need to get something to drink. I'm thirsty. And I don't want to blow out my vocal cords. So, alright. Thank you for watching so far. Feel free to get up, stretch your arms, stretch your legs, go to the bathroom, get some to eat, get some to drink, pet a cat, pet a dog, do what it is you normally do when you're taking a break. I'll be gone for about 10 to 20 minutes. This is the intermission. And we're back. Okay. All right. So we're here now. Okay. How many of you have Spotify? I'm willing to bet plenty of you have probably been on Spotify, whether free, paid, or have an account, don't have an account. Right? Right. Okay. So, how many of you hit that point where it says, enjoy 30 minutes of no ads music, or whatever, of 30 minutes of ad-free music? And you're like, all right, hell yeah. And then, like 2 songs later, you get a fucking ad. Am I the only one? Please tell me I'm not the only one. Because I thought I was going crazy. When that happened, I was like, okay, maybe that was a glitch. So let's see what's up with that, right? Turns out, lo and behold, no, that happened multiple times. 30. All right. Okay. If you're experiencing issues with 30 minutes of ad-free music feature in the free Spotify tier, ensure you're keeping the video ad in focus, not navigating away, and haven't accidentally clicked no thanks when prompted. Alright, so random and mixed. 30-minute ad-free listening is a random feature mixed with other ads in the free tier. Okay, good. I'm not the only one, because I thought I was going fucking nuts. Alright. Ads still appear. Some issues report that even after watching the ad, they still receive ads after a few songs, which is a known issue. That didn't used to happen! That's the issue, is it didn't used to happen. Like, this is a very recent thing, and it shouldn't be that way. The issue is, what changed for that to be the case? What happened? So that's what I would like to figure out. Let's see what this says. After you've watched the brand's video, they'll receive 30 things. Okay, so let's go ahead and go to this. Because I feel like this is going to start with cut out. Then one, alright. I feel like I'm being tormented with the adverts to purchase premium. Sometimes I watch 3 advertisements and I do not get 30 minutes of ad-free music. Then 1 or 2 songs play and then same advertisement again. I would not mind the advertisement if I did get the promised 30 minutes. Thank you for reaching out to the community. We're sorry you had to deal with these issues. Worth noting that in order to get 30 minutes ad-free, you need to keep the video ad in focus, not navigate to another app, browser, etc. Please. Also, please make sure that you are not accidentally clicking the no thanks button when prompted to watch the ad. Let us know how this goes. I'm getting 3 to 5 ads every 2 songs. Doesn't matter what playlist I'm in. And after every 2 songs, there's an ad break. I close the app out and go back into the same thing. It also doesn't get the 30-minute ad break anymore. It's kind of really annoying, especially when driving, because I just want to listen to the music, but the ads after pretty much every single song, I just don't want to listen anymore. Please help me. I love Spotify, and this ad situation is driving me insane. I agree. I'm getting ads like after every 2 songs, and the ads are longer than the songs I've listened to. Never get 30-minute ad breaks anymore either. Just Spotify is just pushing their premium service, and it's pretty scummy. They've already made enough money, but it's like they want to torture us because they can. Hi there, folks. Thank you for the reports and feedback. In order to investigate this further, you can let us know by the following. The ads visual audio or audio only? Are they getting ad breaks every 2 to 3 songs on your mobile, or does it happen on other devices like your PC? Do you keep the video ad in focus without navigating away from closing it? That didn't used to happen! Same here. I watched ads back to back, and it says, watch this ad for 30 minutes, and after the song I'm listening to is done, boom, there's another ad. I read it, and I read that it was a bug, but the article was published in 2021, so I'm not sure if it's relevant now. Yeah, no, you're ignoring what you're saying. That's visual and plus audio. I do not navigate away from the app, and my screen stays lit the whole time. Listen, I used to have my phone stay on for 10 minutes. I had a 10-minute timer for it to turn off because I want shit to stay on. It's BS. It doesn't work with what you're saying, and the post is a year old, and Spotify still do that. Spotify is the worst, and could happen to them. That could happen to the music industry. For real though, it told me I'll get 30 minutes ad. No. Spotify, fix your shit. If you're going to say you have 30 minutes free ads, it shouldn't matter. If we close it, it shouldn't matter. If we navigate away, that should be it. You get 30 minutes of ad-free music, because when you keep pushing this shit, it's really goddamn annoying. I'm sorry. If you say 30 minutes of ad-free music, I better get 30 minutes of ad-free music, because what's going to happen is you're going to put yourself on a decline. You really are. And it's going to be irritating. And all those podcasters are going to say, no, I'm not going to post my shit on there. They're doing scummy shit. I promise you, Spotify, if you're not careful, you will lose your fucking company, because we've already proven that people are willing and able to boycott enough to make a difference. So don't undercut your customers. These ads are visual and play the sound. The ads every 2 songs, the ads play every 2 songs religiously. Tried a few things to see if it would stop or even make a small change, but even when I watch and listen to them without looking at anything else or other apps, it's still 3 ads after 2 songs on mobile app. Ads after a couple songs on other devices. Stop asking about other devices. It doesn't matter. It doesn't fucking matter. Alex, Spotify legend. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. MAFG. The issue is still the issue. If you say, I'm giving you 30 minutes of free ads, you should be actually providing that. I'm still getting ads every song. And this is still people's experience. This was my experience the last several times I've used it. Does that mean me too? I used to use Spotify to fall asleep by turning my sleep timer on 30 minutes, starting up a playlist of soothing music, watching the ads that promise 30 minutes of ad-free, then slowly drift to sleep while listening. However, now I'll attempt to do the same thing, but after the first song or 2, I'm jolted awake by a loud as fuck ad. It wasn't 30 minutes. You're not keeping your word, Spotify. I'm getting really upset because I really enjoyed your app. But if these ads keep playing like this, I'm not going to use it anymore and uninstall. I used exclusively on my Samsung phone. Never navigate away while the ad is playing, and it's still an issue. App is up to date. Fix this. And they haven't. That's what's ridiculous. And now, okay. Now that I've said that, do any of you know about Nintendo Music? Nintendo Music. It works very similar to Spotify in nature. You want to know what else? There's no ads. It is linked to your Nintendo account. I don't remember if you... I don't think you even have to pay for a membership. I think as long as you have a Nintendo account, you can use this. You can just have this. And they even went ahead and put in, oh, look at that, Luigi's Mansion. Both for GameCube and 3DS. I don't know if there's much difference, but I guess there's enough. There's F-Zero. Now, at first, it was a pretty small library. And I would argue it still is. It only went, like... It only had, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... It had, like, maybe 21, 24 albums by the time I got to it. But they've been adding one, I think, every week, I believe. So now, it's expanding. It's expanding on a weekly. I think they should have front-loaded it with like, minimum, like, 60 albums. But, you know, what have you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Alright, so we still have less than 60. But I think they should have front-loaded it, because there's a bunch of really good music on here. Legend of Zelda, Metroid Prime, Nintendogs, Metroid Prime Remastered, Breath of the Wild, Mario Galaxy, Mario Kart, Animal Crossing, and, you know, some of these bigger games, they have a massive fucking list of music. Wind Waker now, Pokemon Arceus, Super Mario World, Golden Sun, Dr. Mario, Kirby and the Forgotten Land. Like I said earlier, Luigi's Mansion. They got lots. They last a long while, and a lot of that's really soothing. There's no ads, which makes it really appealing if you need to listen to something that doesn't have lyrics. For example, I have a hard time reading something and then listening to something in the background that has lyrics that are being said, because I tend to focus on the lyrics. And I find that hard. Now, that's mostly a me problem, but it's an issue nevertheless. And I think, you know, it's whatever. But you go to Spotify, you're using it for free. What's the cost of using something for free? They still need to get paid, or else they can't keep providing a service. So, okay, you know what? We're okay with ads. Now, where's the line? The line is if you have an ad that says enjoy 30 minutes of ad-free music, then you should give 30 minutes of ad-free music. Oh, holy shit, dude. Yeah, it shouldn't matter if you navigate away. Because as long as it retains the ability to play music, it should still play music. And not ads. Because we're fine listening to ads. We really are. We watch plenty of ads on fucking YouTube. We see plenty of ads rolling through whenever we're looking at everything. I have no doubt that some of these are sponsored ads. So, tell me. Oh man, look at all this. Actually allow 30 minutes of no ads. There's a more recent one. Fellow Spotify users have this issue. We received an ad seemingly truthful about 30 minutes of no ads. However, just 2 to 4 songs later, an ad pops up. Mind you that these songs are usually 2 to 3 minutes long. I find it infuriating that I don't receive what I was promised. Perhaps unknown to me, this may be a premium feature. On the topic of premium, the ads become so annoying that it seems like Spotify is picking out which ones seem the most annoying, making the frustrated user buy premium. Of course, I don't think Spotify is actually selecting ads, but it would be nice if there were actually 30 minutes of free ad-free music. For reaching out, in the free tier, the playback contains ads every once in a while. It's not every once in a while. It is very, very frequently. That's the issue. Because I have no doubt there's plenty of people. For the past few days, I'm getting two 30 seconds long ads after every 3 to 4 songs. Even after 30-second video ads, which says 30 minutes ad-free experience, I still get ads. I follow all of those instructions when I get the free 30 minutes of uninterrupted listening ads, but it will play one song after and no more ads. It happens to my husband on his account as well. So yes, you're still having the issue. It is still persistent, and it shouldn't be. So, what do you do from there? What do you do? Right? Because what people are going to do is either some of them are going to go ahead and get premium because they're pissed off and they can afford it. The people who don't want to afford it or can't afford it for whatever the situation, they're just going to leave. They're going to say, hey, I can get free ad blockers on YouTube that still work. So I'm just going to use that and put on a fucking playlist. Because the listings that Spotify has is incredible. There's so much on there. You can find almost anything, obscure, modern, recent, old, whatever you want. If you can conceive it, someone's probably uploaded it there. Now, what's going on? You tell me. The ads still appear. They keep saying, hey, make sure you're not diverting away from it. Make sure it's not blurring out. That shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't. Alright, let's check out Reddit. Reddit is a incredible... Sorry, the post was deleted by the person who originally posted it. Damn. This was 8 years ago. Is there a more recent one? Here we go. After one ad with the text saying... Okay. After the one ad with the text saying 30 minutes of ad-free listening, it plays one song and then goes back to ads. How do I fix this? First post here. I'm a freeloader. I noticed in the past month or so that breaks between ads is down to about 10 minutes or 2 to 3 songs, and then goes back to amazing music, Amazon Music. Spotify could consider what Netflix is doing. Provide ad-supported subscription. You're not what? This has nothing... I guess Spotify is experimenting with how frequently it can get away with hitting non-paying members with ads. Hell, why not just go to the absurd conclusion? Stop the song every 5 seconds to play an ad. I dare you, Spotify. Gotcha. Buy premium. No. Yeah, that's definitely intentional. Yeah, that's definitely... Okay, that's shitty to me. That is not something... No. Yeah, but definitely is. Something I've also noticed is how the bar, which shows how much of the ad you've watched, sometimes jumps backwards so that it looks like the ad is shorter than it really is. What's premium? Is there more that I don't see? Are we just gonna ignore gay-ass Jesus and Down syndrome? But what the fuck? What? What am I missing? You fix it by stop freeloading and pay up like everyone. You're not freeload. They're not freeloading, and they're just mad because they're lying. No, no. Okay, that's shitty. That's fucking dumb. You're never going to get a real answer out of these guys, unfortunately. Try Spotify support forums. Yeah, no. Okay. Is ad blocker legal? You know, and people wonder why people are getting pissed off about them blocking ad blockers. There's a reason people are using ad blockers. It's this. Alright. Why is 30 minutes of ad-free music? Why even say that? Okay. I think you know why. I mean, yeah, money. In 30 minutes total in 2 to 5 minute increments. Honestly, if I didn't have premium, I'd delete the app again. I wouldn't want to start over. I wouldn't want to lose the years of playlists I've curated. But the free version of the app is awful on purpose. I have no idea if they changed the desktop version, but I had that before I ever had the phone to support it. And it didn't do the BS the free app did. The free PC version is pretty nice. You can pick what songs you want, and there aren't as many ads. Yes, I love the PC version, but mobile is annoying. Okay, so there's something to be interested in. PC version, I guess, works fine? But does it still give you the ads? The Xbox app also has drastically better than the Android app. It's also... Okay, so Xbox is even better. The PS app... PlayStation app is better than iOS. The iOS crap as well. So they're just doing this to iOS users? Oh, iOS and Android? You can easily migrate playlists to other services or backup text file with Tune My Music or similar services that for free. All right. They actually used to give 30 minutes of free ad-free when ads consisted of the annoying sounding guy and the woman. Now it's a song or two and immediately back to ads. I'm not really addressing that. The issue is they're telling you there's a 30 minutes of ad-free music. That's what I want them to address. You get 30 minutes of ad-free. So, I don't use Spotify that much because of that. But I'm also mostly listening to YouTube videos that aren't music a lot when I'm driving. Something to listen to, like a podcast style thing or informational. I normally, when I listen to music, it's if I'm reading. That's when I want to listen to music. Like that. Or if I'm doing chores or something like that. Something that distracts my brain from getting distracted, if that makes sense. So, Spotify, fix your shit. Because, yeah, because there's no reason that you should be doing that. Because if you say it, I feel like the issue is you're not gaining anything if you're to do a class action. There's nothing they could pay you for. Excuse me. I don't see anything that you'd be able to really sue for because it's a free service. But I feel like there could be an issue. I think it'd be more on the substance than it would be on the actual lawsuit. That you would sue that it is false advertising. It is straight up lying. And you're not providing to us what you said you would provide to us. And because of that, you're false advertising this 30 minutes of ad-free music. But I would assume they already have their legalese stamped out. And there'd have to be plenty of videos proving that they're doing everything by the book. Which I wouldn't doubt there are. Spotify lawsuits. 2025. Rodman's against Spotify, finding that Spotify's bundle classification of its premium subscriptions includes audiobooks and was permissible in impacting songwriter royalties. For 30-minute ad free. Okay. While there haven't been any widespread or publicly known lawsuits specifically targeting Spotify for its 30-minute ad-free offering, users have expressed frustration and concerns about inconsistent delivery of the promise, with some suggesting it's a form of false advertising. The breakdown of the issue. The promise. The effort offers free music to possibly free users the possibility of 30 minutes of ad-free music listening after watching a video ad. The problem. Users report that a 30-minute ad-free period is not always delivered as promised, with ads sometimes resuming prematurely or after only a short period of uninterrupted listening, with 2 to 4 songs. User frustration. This inconsistency has led our user frustration to accusations of false advertising, which some users threaten legal action. Spotify response. Spotify has acknowledged that the issue and advised users to ensure that the ad video remains in focus and that they do not navigate away from the ad while the ad is playing to receive the promised 30 minutes of ad-free listening. Possible reasons for inconsistency. Technical glitches, app bugs, or Spotify's algorithms could be contributing to the inconsistent delivery of the ad-free. How? You're telling me your algorithms are more geared towards giving you ads, is what that says to me. And why would that be the case? No public lawsuits. There have been discussions and concerns raised by users about the issue, but there's no evidence of any public lawsuits against Spotify specifically for this issue. Free versus premium. Spotify's business model relies on the freemium approach. Where free users are exposed to ads and premium subscribers receive an ad-free experience. How much is Spotify Premium? It's $12 a month. Oh. Oh. Are you shitting me? Duo for 2 accounts for 2 people who live together. You shouldn't be required to know who they are. If I want 2 accounts for me and another friend who lives somewhere else, I should be able to do that. So it costs $12. Unless you have a student plan, which is $6. So, that's dumb. Didn't it used to be like $6 in general? It was $3 for like, $5 a month for students. Audiobooks per month for access to audiobooks, which is its own thing. Alright. Yeah, and then family plan is $20, up to 6 premium or kids accounts. I don't want that. Individual for 1 month is $12 fucking dollars. Because, okay, so here's what I wish would happen. I really wish that what we could do is everyone that has an active account that's willing to keep paying for it fills up with as many people as they can on the most economically feasible subscription. My example is, if you make family $19 a month, you make sure that you have 6 people. Very specifically, make sure they have 6 people. And 15 hours a month of listening time from our audiobook subscriber catalog? That's kind of dumb. Content control is explicit. Consent anytime. Yeah, but you have 6 premium accounts? Make sure that is fully fucking loaded. Make sure you have that before. Same thing with Netflix. I think you should give your Netflix to as many people as possible to make sure they know they are not the ones that will be in control. Now, I'm not trying to advocate for fucking over companies inherently. I just don't want the consumer to be screwed by increasing costs for them to have record profits for shit that they don't need to be charging us for. And when you have a free version, you should make sure that when it's free, it's actually a free 30 minutes. And that it abides by it. God damn it, because that really does piss me off. That really grinds my fucking gears, dude. I mean, how far do you go? Alright, let's get on a better note before we get on a worse note. I've been learning to play, my wife and I have been learning to play Magic the Gathering. So, it's been really interesting. So, there's this Jace versus Vraska deck that I had these pre-builts that came in a pack of 2. And so we started getting back into it. I don't remember the rules perfectly, but I kinda tried to keep up with it. Excuse me. So we've been playing every once in a while. We haven't played in a while for a bit, so we need to get back into it. Because we've been playing video games that we've had backlogged for fucking a decade or so. Games that I haven't beaten myself that I've owned for years. So I've been trying to get that shit done, and that's actually been doing really well. Alright. Okay. Alright. So, like, how much... Let's see, how much would I know now? I've done a little bit of deck building. I don't think it's very good, but I like it. So I have this, I've been trying to make this dragon deck. I've been playing with whatever deck is there and trying to get them all shuffled. And we decided to start rummaging through cards at card shops. Like they're 10 for $1, 5 for $1 kind of shit. So now we have like maybe a couple hundred cards that are just sitting in the box now. And I've been trying to make... I made a dragon deck. It's red and blue. And I think it's really cool. Very strictly dragon, too. And the issue I have right now is that there's too many creatures and not enough enchantments or anything else. I got plenty of lands. That's not an issue. I need to get some more mixed lands. You know, like, oh, this one can be a red or a blue. That kind of thing. So once I get further into that, it should be a little better. Once I need to understand structuring. But I also have this idea for a nightmare deck. Or a horror deck. And I want to make a furries deck. And an animal deck. Because reasons. Oh, and I could probably make a scaly deck. I don't know if I want to add them in with the furries. Yet. Who knows? Who knows what I could do? But yeah, I'm wondering if I should try and get into it on my phone a little bit, because I don't know. We've been getting back into it, so it's been really neat. I have to say I really appreciate it a lot, because it really does break down itself, and it knows its rules. Whether you know them or not is a different story, but it knows its rules. And most of its rules are dictated by the cards, which is really interesting, because if you came from fucking Yu-Gi-Oh! If you came from Yu-Gi-Oh! Yu-Gi-Oh! Was complicated. If you wanted to make a complicated deck, it could be very complicated and not make any sense. Whereas, you can have cards that don't make sense in Magic. And, like, the other rest of it is just whether or not you actually understand the game, but, hey, what have you. Yeah, it's just so ridiculous. It's so crazy that Yu-Gi-Oh! Felt so complicated and limited. or it gave you these limitations that felt arbitrary. In Magic, you can have as many monsters as you have on the field. You can just have all of them, which is so surreal to me. I don't quite get it, but it's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? You have armies. You can just have straight armies. You're not limited to 5 cards on the field. Also, it's not connected to a show where everyone cheats. So there's that. Um, Now, from what I know, the way I like to see it is Magic is a game that has guidelines, but for the most part, the cards dictate the rules. If there is a card that says that no, that doesn't work like that anymore, that changes the rules, you go by the card. So, in trying to learn the basics and understand how these things work, we've just been playing, and then when we were like, oh, I'm not sure what's going on there, uh, then we just kind of go from there after we look it up. So we're not necessarily playing by the best of the rules, but we're doing what we can. And I would recommend it. I wish we had more people to play with. Also, you don't really have a limit on how big your deck can be. Your deck can be as big as you want it, technically. It's just recommended you keep it on. I think tournaments limit you. But technically, if you had a very open tournament, because you're also not limited to how many players you can have. So you could have 200 players that all have 200 card decks. And all of you are playing with 200 life points. Now tell me that wouldn't take, for one thing, it would take a decade to play. It would take a decade to play. And, oh god, it would be chaotic. So, yeah, I do need to learn a bit more about it. I need to, I might get the, an app that helps with that, possibly on my phone. Because that's where I am most of the time, is that I'm on my phone trying to figure shit out. Fuck, what does that mean? I don't know. Like, what does it take to download? Strategy looking at it. Do you have to play with other people, or can you just use it to learn the game? Follow the same rules as tabletop card rank. Players use decks that generate 5 colors of mana. Customize your profile. Pick a play mode. And are you choose your deck? I assume you can make. Okay, so these are starter decks, and you can make your own decks. I might check it out. I might throw it on my phone. I would like to play against computers, though. Let me take a look at that, actually. Magic the Gathering. MTG Arena. Do you have to play with friends? No, you don't have to play with friends in the You can choose to play against friends, which allows you to add challenge friends in the game. Can you play computers. Can you play against AI? You can always play against Sparky as an AI opponent whenever you like. Sparky isn't programmed super amazing, so it may not be great. Okay, so... Okay, so you do have bot match. So if you're just trying to learn the game through you can do that. Alright, I'll keep that in mind. Okay. Do you have to buy decks? Do you have to buy cards? You can, but not directly. Buy and open a bunch of packs in addition to manually get packs. All of them are free. In challenges, you battle your way through games in 5 colors. Gather the in-color web. More decks, more cards will be available to you. Yeah, okay, so I might check this out. Because we got Pokemon... the Pokemon Pocket trading card game thing. And we just like the cards. I don't know if we'll ever actually, like, have a battle. I don't know if we'll ever actually have a battle, but, I mean, we like cards, we like the trading. I think my wife beat all the challenges. I don't know if she's actually went against someone online. I got mine on the tablet. But yeah, I might consider that. I'll put it on my tablet because I probably won't play it at work. I'm almost certain I won't play it at work, so take that for what you will. Not much else I have to say is that we're learning to play it. We need to get more into it. It's been a lot of fun. It's just kind of weird getting back into it because we're almost both 30. If you do the average, we're both 30. So it's just weird because we're coming back from shit from the past and trying to get into what we've got now. So we get to go back and actually live out our childhoods, but in a safe environment. Doesn't have a bunch of shitheads, and at our own pace for that matter, because that was another issue. Is like you have some people who are like who love the game so much that they don't realize they're really really pushing it. So there is that. Okay. Oh, you know what? Just real quick, I did want to. The raid room we went to was Bev's rage room. I just wanted to go ahead and throw that in. I don't know if we're in here or not. It might be. Yeah, there we go. So you got a barrel. Got some tires. You can put stuff on there and fucking smash it. You got your weapon. You get a bunch of shit on a table. You can smash it that way. Someone broke the light. That was interesting. Um, by owner. Nah, okay. But yeah, we went to Bev's rage room, and as for the nope, where's the nope? The fuck? Whoa, 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 what? How the fuck did I get over there? Okay. Alright, so there's that. And then... No, there we go. And then we got, here we go. Retro Reware. Yeah, they had a bunch of classic stuff. So they got In Case right here. Some of it might be a little pricey, but they had old games like that. I think they try and be careful to make sure they know what's refurbish and what's original and what is productions. Yeah, this is their shop. It's nice. Retro Reware. Looks like it's set up a little different when we went in there. Resident Evil 2 in box. Got some DS games, NES, big ass Rachu. They had old shoes. Oh, they used to have Coliseum. I don't know how much it was, but it's probably more than I could afford. They had Mario Party 7. You got some old comic books too. Oh, and they also had guidebooks too. That was interesting as well. So yeah, I definitely we'll definitely be going back when we get a chance. I just realized I forgot to mention that. Now, this is something I kind of hate. I don't like to hate on Nintendo, but it's got to be said. So, because there's things I like and there's things I don't like, and you know what? I really, really want to love this console. I want to love it so bad because it's like what we should have had to begin with, I guess. Now, if you guys know anything about me, I am a Nintendo fanboy. There's no doubt about that. I am about as fanboy as you can get when it comes to Nintendo, without being like fucking too weird about it, I guess. I would assume I'm weird as fuck about it, but I try and make sure that it's not too much. Right? Right. Okay. Here we go. So, the Switch 2 was announced on the 2nd, and its original release date was the 5th. That's going to be pushed back. And, oh boy. It's supposed to be $450. It's actually cheaper in England, relatively speaking. I think. Is that more expensive? That might be more expensive. I don't remember. But at 450 is what's currently projected at for just the console, and then 500 for the console bundle. But there's just some issue. Confirmed to be released in 25. Launch date of June 5th. That ain't happening. Switch has delayed it in the US to assess the potential impact of tariffs and evolving market conditions. Tariffs announced by Trump administration. And the pre-orders will not start on April 9th, which is tomorrow, might I add. So if you're not in a place where you were able to pre-order, and I don't think I am, not that I'm pre-ordering it, because I don't want to. Well, this is what the release price is supposed to be. Now, here's one of the issues that we don't know. Because of the tariffs, we don't know if that price will increase. Which, I feel like if they eat the cost, which I don't think they will, if they were to eat the cost, they would easily be able to be redeemable. But I don't think they will. Because I don't think that they're going to take it sitting down, because let's face it, the whole tariff thing is something that would piss someone off and feel insulted by. So I don't know when we're actually going to be able to get the Switch 2, but I'm not sure I could consciously buy it right now. There's a handful of reasons. So one is hold on, cost post tariff. It's too expensive. They were not factored into the original price. That's the issue. They are not manufactured in America, which means once they get here, they are going to be tariffed, which means in order to cover the cost, we are going to need to pay more to cover the cost. Someone has to pay more. The Switch 2 post-tariff price will be about $540. That's what that looks like what they're predicting. Let's take a look. Let's see if they have a. Sorry, it's supposed to. But god damn it! They're overestimating how well it will sell. And once the recession really hits, the Switch sold 15 million units and at a much cheaper cost. Granted, there are also supply shortages, and who knows how high that ceiling is. And the Switch 2 will match that hype. I wish it wasn't. Damn it. Alright. Now, I have a suspicion that Nintendo was backloading Switches, so that way they had plenty to release over time. Because they seem to know how to figure it out. They seem to know how to figure it out in a way that they tend to be able to get past things like what the PlayStation went through when people were scalping it. Because scalpers fucking suck. Now, we don't know how much this is actually going to be. But it could be, like this guy is $600 for a Switch. For a Switch 2. And, okay, also, am I the only one who's pissed off at that name? The Switch 2? I'm not the only one, right? Because that was a huge missed opportunity. It should have been called the Super Nintendo Switch. That's what it should have been. They don't have a number scheme for their consoles. They have a quirk scheme for their consoles. They had the Nintendo, they had the Super Nintendo, they had the GameCube, they had the Nintendo 64. That was the only number, that was because it was 64-bit, not because it was the 64th console. And then that is a quirk, not a numbers theme. Then they had the GameCube. They had the Game Boy. Game Boy Color. Game Boy Advance. Game Boy SP. DS. Dual screen. And it was way too late, so I found out that meant dual screen. So there's the DS. The DSi. The 3DS. 3DS XL. You have, Alright, it goes GameCube. Then you have the Wii. Then you have the Wii U. And then you have the Switch. And then, yeah, there's a bunch of in-betweens that I believe I'm missing, but nevertheless, I think they're mostly handhelds. Nevertheless, you have all these, and you call it the Switch 2. I get that it's the Switch, but better. But that's even more reason to call it the Super Nintendo Switch. So, here's what I'm looking at myself. Features that I like. Let's go ahead and let's just go ahead and see if we can get into it. All right. So, as far as I know, the controllers, all the buttons and stuff are enhanced and strengthened, which is a good thing. That's great. I love that. Give me something. Okay, so here we go. These are magnetic to here, and there's a button you do to release the magnets. Yeah, I get that. Oh, that's kind of neat, though. All right. So I can appreciate that a lot. They have a little camera that you can have. I think that's cool. I think it's a little gratuitous, but you know what? Whatever. I think you should be able to have any. I think they should make sure that third party cameras can work as well, that you can just kind of plug it in and it'll be fine. That's just me. The stand is perfect. It That's something that was needed, not that chintzy little thing that mine's fine, but I'm sure many people have had them break off. They just did. Um, these I believe are reinforced controllers, and they're okay like this as a mouse. I think the mouse option is really interesting. I think they went a little too heavy on having a chat button fucking everywhere. It feels like. Don't get me wrong, having an easy chat is fine. I just feel like they could have done it a little better. But, that's just me. I don't use chat that much. I was worried that the pins on the switch side, on the main switch, I thought that might be an issue. Because I thought these might be easy to break off because I thought they were jutting out a little bit more. But no, they seem to be flush with this. And with the way these are recessed, it's going to be fairly hard to make it move in a way that just breaks this, I think. But we don't live in a world where Nintendium exists anymore. It's going to be hard not to leave that up to debate. Because this might still be a fragile console. I don't even know if it's thicker. It doesn't look that much thicker, but it should be a little thicker. The GameCube controllers, if they stick with those, those will always sell. I like having a bigger screen, that's fine. LCD is fine. 120 frames per second, that's great. And then you dock it, and then you get better aspect ratio on the TV, that's fine too. I don't care about this, I really don't. I want more of the other stuff. Because I like the game chat concept. It even blanks out what's in the background. And you can also switch back and forth. I guess giving a button for its own thing that'll be working as a menu is fine. So I guess I can't really worry too much about that. I don't want to learn about the game. I want to learn about the Switch. I need more. God damn it. Okay, here we go. Okay, I just need to keep going. Yeah, here we go. So these I was worried about. There we go. Okay, so it's telling you your different angles. So I imagine it has a little notch thing going on. I imagine you might need to be careful with that, because that might round out if you fuck with it too much. But nevertheless, it's a good thing, and I assume that your expandable memory is still behind it. The top charger is fucking great. That was a very good idea. I don't know who complained enough, but someone did. The fact that this is magnetic, I do enjoy. I hope these are more durable, and I hope they fix the issue with Joy-Con drift. That apparently has not been confirmed. You can use it as a mouse, preferably with the adapter, because it should work better, and I don't think you have to worry about fucking up these buttons. Or the contacts. Use it as a remote, whatever. You have the eye right here. Tabletop mode, handheld mode, TV mode. I use TV mode very primarily. I'm not as much on handheld. Being able to use cartridges, being able to use all the Switch cartridges is necessary. You need that. Because it's the same medium, you should be able to. God, this feels like it doesn't touch on it enough. Alright, let's go ahead and see how much the accessories will be. I'm curious. So the Pro Controller, $80 fucking dollars. Okay. Joy-Cons, $90 fucking dollars. God damn it. I hope they actually come with the things. I hope that it better come with these. Alright. The grip. Almost $40. Why is the grip $40? I don't think it should be 40. If you need the straps separate, that's good. Separate straps is a good thing to have. Sometimes shit happens. Wheels, you don't really need that, but they come in a set of 2. That's a good deal. That is a good deal. Other. This is $50. Jesus. And it's USB-C. You got your cord, cable, box, simple. How much is a dock? A Switch 2 dock set is $110. God damn it. A whole nother dock. Case, $40. A bigger case is $80. All in one. Just the AC adapter is $30. Ugh. And yeah, that's right. You need the express cards. Right. And technical specs. Here we go. So, internal 256 gig. How much that will cover, realistically, we don't know yet. Supports 1920 by 180 and 2560 by 1440 resolutions. Tabletop mode is max, basically my computer screens right now. It'll look better on the smaller screen, but I've got these 19-inch screens and everything looks fine. It's fine. It really is. 1080p. That's fine. That's plenty good as far as I'm concerned. That's the standard. I don't see much difference most of the time. I can see smoothness, but I don't see much more. It does have a built-in microphone. That's good. It has 2 C ports. It actually still keeps the audio jack. Game card slot, of course. Up to 2 terabyte for the micro SD express card. So, micro SD cards are not compatible with micro SD express. Use copy screenshots. Okay. Operating temperature between 41 and 95 degrees Fahrenheit and 20 to 80% humidity. Do not use this in the hot sun. Do not use this when it's freezing cold. It will get colder and hotter than you. You might be in an area where you can't help the humidity. I don't know what to tell you there. I'm in fucking bumfuck Alabama and it's humid all the goddamn time during the hot seasons. Charging time is approximately 3 hours. That kind of sucks. Battery life, 6.5? I don't see that. 2 to 6.5 is what it says. These are rough estimates. I don't see that being... One, that's not going to be enough. I don't think it's going to have a good battery life. Buttons, okay. It's going to have Bluetooth and wireless LAN, Wi-Fi. It's got Wi-Fi 6, too. That's pretty good. It says a custom processor by NVIDIA. Alright. So, alright, so that's the specs. Dock has 2 USB ports. They might need to make like an actual adapter for more USB ports proper, because that's a little annoying, because like they tend to go accessory crazy, and sometimes those accessories are interesting. I don't know, unless they keep everything fucking Unless everything remains mostly wireless, I guess. Alright, Joy-Cons. Sensor. And they have gyroscopes in them. They have HD Rumble 2. Don't really give a shit. Battery life is about 20 hours. The controllers aren't really a problem. Charging time, that probably won't be a problem. Keeping them charged, like, you'd really have to play the shit out of it. Size, weight, Joy-Con straps, I don't care. The grip, I don't care. Alright. Transferring from Nintendo Switch. No. Parental controls, game chat, Nintendo Switch app. The app might be interesting. I want to look at games because I don't like what I was seeing. Okay, right here. This. Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. This should come with your console. You should not have to buy that. So, can we go into this?
Hello.
How much is it going to be? No, all of this. It's a paid digital game only.
Or will launch as a paid digital game on the same day as Nintendo Switch 2.
No. This should be free. You should be able to download this. You should be able to download this for free. You should not have to pay to download the manual to your console. I know it's more than that. I get that. It's got games. It's got a picture of the actual fucking board. I get that. You should not have to pay for this specifically. This is not like it's not like any of the other games. You do not need to sell this. You need to give them this. You can give them the option of not having it. That it's deletable. But this should either come installed for you to tour the Switch 2 proper, and you should be able to get it whenever, or it should be installed and you can get rid of it whenever. I don't think this should be paid. I think this should be given. Unless I'm misinterpreting something. It's a paid download. I do want to play this. My wife and I want to play this. We haven't played any of the Elden Ring things. I never played the first one. I have been anticipating this for a while, but I'll probably get this on the Switch. Just because there's not enough worth it. There's these upgrade packs. Alright. Only on Nintendo Switch 2. That's annoying. That's annoying. It is only so the GameCube, the Nintendo GameCube emulator will only be on the Switch 2. That pisses me off. It really does. There's no reason you shouldn't be able to have this on the Switch as well. Damn it. Okay. Alright, so I take issue with that too. Because we still want preservation. I don't think, depending on how this goes, they may have to retract that and make it available for the Switch. Now, I'm probably talking up a fever dream. Oops, sorry. But I don't see any reason this can't be on the Switch. Sure, it'd be bigger, but you should have it there. The virtual game cards piss me off. I like the idea of being able to let someone borrow it and then getting it back, but some physical games are available as game key cards. Insert a game key to download the full game to your system. That's not a full physical game then. Alright, so I wanted to look more into this. I wanted to look more into this because this didn't make any sense to me. Why? Did I hit the wrong thing? I had to. Whoa! What? Whoa, what? Huh? Hold up. Why is it bringing me here? Why is it bringing me here? Game key card. Oh my god. What is this? Am I... Okay. So they're going to be regional. I guess. Does that mean certain keycards from different regions might not work? I hope I'm overthinking this. But I'm assuming it's a localization thing and that's it. Okay. 02, both regular games and card games, and game key cards. Game key cards are different from regular games because you don't contain the full game data. Instead, the game key card is your key to downloading the full game to your system via the internet. After it's downloaded, you can play the game by inserting the game key card into your system by starting it up like a standard copy. You shouldn't have to do that if you have to download the fucking game to begin with. No. Fucking no. No. If you have to download it, you shouldn't have to. If you have to download it anyway, this isn't like getting more supported data. If you can't contain the entirety of the game on it, I understand that's an issue. There are workarounds with that. Sometimes you have to downsize, and that sucks. But I feel like we might be hitting a limitation on the physical media of consoles now. Because they're trying to make everything small. I love my SNES cartridges. I would be fine having cartridges that are bigger. I'm wondering if they wrote themselves into a hole. Or they designed themselves into a hole where we have to keep this because we are the we're the backwards compatible people, you know? We're always the ones that do the backward compatibility. So I'm wondering if they designed themselves into a hole where they say, oh, it's too small, we can't put the whole game on there. We just don't have enough data. Something like that happens. And they say, well, we can't make the cartridges bigger for more data. We have to make it backwards compatible. Now you've put yourself in an issue where you used to have cartridges where sometimes less than half of the cartridge itself was actually used for the card. For the actual memory card. Interesting, don't you think? So, far be it from me to say how Nintendo should design shit. So years ago, after being on discs and realizing that loading would take for fucking ever, I had a friend of mine and actually multiple friends multiple people I talked to thought it was a good idea. But we had the idea that, hey, Nintendo should go back to cartridges because they fucking work. People love cartridges, and you have a whole bunch of space. It's solid state, it's not a disc, so nothing has to spin, and it loads faster. We knew that. Because with especially with the PS3, the PS3's loading was god-awful. And I never had a PS3. I mean, I technically have one now. I don't know if it's bricked yet. I don't know. But it's in my possession. I haven't put it on or anything, so I don't know. But along with that being an issue, they had terrible loading times. Shit would take forever to load. Like, way longer than a console like that should. What I think they should have done was, instead of trying to make these SD-sized cartridges, I think what they should have done is they should have made bigger cartridges for a little bit bigger console. I don't think they needed to limit the console. Don't get me wrong. They could still make it handheld and more powerful if they made it a little bigger. And you can still have a dock. That shit's still there. It really is. They could have done that. This keycard situation where you can't put the whole game on one cartridge, that is asinine. That's unbelievable. Because, one, working with the limitation is something that can create innovation and creativity when you have a specific limitation. And that doesn't have to harm you. Right? But it can suck. Having that limitation can make it hard. But if you have a key card that doesn't have the whole game, you have to download it anyway. One, you might as well just download the game. Because now you locked yourself to having to have the physical cart anyway to play it, to play a downloaded game. The fuck? Why? That's dumb. That's dumb. Stop being dumb. Like I said, I don't want to hate this. There's a lot of things I really like about this console. You know? But that's something that I would have done different. My cartridges would have been bigger if it was up to me. Because the idea that you could have something expandable, if you can fit everything you need into that small cartridge that they have now, that's fine. But then you made it big enough already that if it needed more area, more expansion, it was in there. You could fill up more space. But there was more. But have you opened up a, let me fucking... Open NES cartridge. Look at that. Look at that. Look how small, look how little most of these took up. You had so many of these that barely took anything. Like, the biggest one you had was probably this one. There you go, Robot Gyro. And they're like, physically. But you had all this space to work with. You could make it go all the way up here if you needed that much space. Oh, here's one. I don't know what this is. NES Online cartridge inside. I don't know what this does. Online something. But if your game could be very small. It could. Your game could be very small. You could have this motherfucker. Looks like Gyromite has a Famicom adapter in it. Oh, okay. So you have your different adapters, whatever. But you have all this space. Here we go. Look at that. And with the technology we have, there still could have been more room. There's more room right here. You could have put more up here if you needed the space. Here we go. Here's a smaller one. All this. This is super simple. This is super simplistic. And I'm not saying that they had to go with something big and bulky, right? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they could have got to a point where they weren't going to write themselves into a hole, basically, if you get my drift. What they could have done was they could have had a bigger cartridge to begin with that didn't utilize all of the space inside. Because now you have a limitation that you can't overcome. You have, let's see, Journey to Celius. Game I've played a little bit. You have all this space if you need it to put more equipment, more hardware in to compensate for what you need the game to do. So now, but now you don't have that. You don't have that extra space. But that's hindsight for you, I guess. So now, that's my suspicion. That's what I think is going on with this. They realized, oh shit, we're not going to be able to put some of these games completely on one cartridge. And we don't want, and we know people get pissed off when you downgrade the graphics, which is what they suspect is going to happen. But no, they're going to make you download it. And you're going to be downloading something like GTA 6, which is supposed to be like 60 gigs? I don't even know if this will run it at that point, once it finally comes out, if it's coming, I don't know. Has GTA 6 come out? GTA 6 delayed. Is it projected? Third or fourth quarter. So it's not out yet. Sometime in the fall right now. Cost, how much? Yeah, so I don't like this. I really don't. If you have to download, it does, because they don't contain the full game data. Key to download the full game. If you have to download it anyway, why bother with a cartridge? Because now you're just, and then you have to have the cartridge in order to play it. Why? Because they can still take away the data if they want. They can delete that. And then it wouldn't be playable. At least in theory. So yeah, no, it's dumb. All right, let's look back. Let's look back. Get back to the thing. There we go. Okay. All right. Like I said, game key cards are dumb. That's a dumb idea. Whoever came up with that needs to reevaluate. They really do. Borderlands 4 is coming out. And I think that's going to be exclusive somehow. The fuck did they get that? I do love that the remake is getting on there. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot I want from this. There really is. I don't want to see this go bad. I hate that this is only going to be on the Switch 2. Hold on. GameCube online. There you go. You come to Switch Online, exclusively for Switch. I mean, if you're having a GameCube Online, GameCube games will be on the Switch 1. No, GameCube games will not be available on the original Switch. They will be available on the Switch 2. So I feel like what they're trying to do is they're trying to phase the old Switch out to begin with. Kingdom Hearts, no. Okay, what to say? Yeah, no, this, I think they should have... I wonder if they tried to make it available on the regular Switch, because this feels like a feature you would want everyone to have to begin with. Because we're already paying $80 fucking for it. So now, what you're doing to many of us is you're locking us out of a feature of the Switch Online subscription that we can no longer have. Now we're locked out of a piece of it when we just have a Switch. God damn. Okay. Let's go back. Alright. Of all the good things, it feels like there's a bunch of shit they're really missing the mark on. We still don't have a nailed down price, no matter how much they want you to think there is. There's a decent selection of games in most of this. but are we going to get to see that much of it? I don't think we are. Not at this rate. Not at this rate. Let's see what else we can look at. Switch Online upgrade packs. Upgrade packs. Let's learn more about that. Okay, so these are upgrade packs, right? I'm of the opinion that any upgrade pack you get should be free. If nothing else, it should be only a couple bucks. You already bought the fucking game for 70 bucks. Already. Now you're trying to make sure that, oh, we're just trying to make sure you get that. No, fuck you. That yellow, white on yellow. No, that's dumb. Oh, goody. Oh, goody. Oh, I thought we were trying to make sense of this. White on gray and white. Jesus Christ. I'm being pedantic, or am I being shallow and pedantic? I don't think I am. See, I'm really interested in this. I've been waiting for this for a very, very long time. We've had Zelda games. We even had a couple Star Fox games. Those are my three favorite. These are my three favorite series from Nintendo: is Star Fox, Zelda, and Metroid. So, I want to see this. Now, the physical version, Switch to subscription, whatever. Digital version, whatever. And is the digital version even going to be cheaper? We don't even know that. Game share, accessibility, virtual game card, technical specs. Alright. I don't mind this. Honestly, this is a little too late for a lot of people, I think. Okay, so you see the Zelda notes, for example? The Zelda notes? I'm sorry, this is too late for that. Most of the people have already played through these games. This is something you probably could have had closer to your original launch. You have the Nintendo Music, which was also too late and too little, but it's here. It's better late than never still. But Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild, if you're going to have a Zelda notes at any given time, you should have already had that. Because my wife and I have been playing through them. We're almost done with Breath of the Wild. We've been using online resources to help us, and I have the strategy guide to Breath of the Wild. So, yeah, this is a lot that it's just not enough. We don't have any incentive for it. I mean, I'd be interested in taking a look at it, but I don't have any reason to get it, at least for that. The Splatoon Net, that will have a lot more. Switch and Switch 2. Switch 2 Edition shouldn't change much. It really shouldn't. Why? That's kind of dumb. Nook Link. Okay, this will be good, because I need to play more New Horizons. Keyboard's best friend, silent. Because this makes it look kind of like you have the, when you have the app, when you have the, camp app, that's what this looks like. And it's cute. I like that. Voice chat in Nintendo games is always good. But this came way too late. Nope, you don't need that. You don't need that, Miss Lady. But holy fuck. This is so weird to me. To be honest. It feels like all the things they could have done, they're either doing too late, or doing too little, and it's like they didn't anticipate certain things. Now, I could register interest. See, here's the thing. If everyone went ahead and jumped on to pre-order, as it was this price, everyone that planned to get it, and it was that price, would they honor that price? Or would it jump up saying, oh, I'm sorry, but you're going to have to pay this much for it? So, I don't know. I feel like that this isn't going to hit the mark the way they think it is. I think it'll sell plenty. I don't think that's going to be an issue. But I don't see this going as big as they're going to want it to. One, because there's a lot of economic pressure now. A lot more than there was fucking 4 months ago. Or 5 or 6, whatever, however long it's been. Now, I love Nintendo. When I think of Nintendo, I think of them being innovators. They innovate. They create something that feels new. They are the ones that create something that have created something incredibly impressive. And they find new ways to interact with it that seem unheard of. They find ways to do things. Because, like, the Wii is where they first really started reutilizing motion controls heavily. The extent to where we used motion controls seemed unheard of at that point. And then they basically brought motion controls back. They led that. And I was like, oh, that's really awesome. They made a console that has plenty of room for it. And if they had to make better ones, they don't have to change the size of the console. So, now what we're looking at... Yeah. So now what we're looking at is they're making this console sleek. They're giving it hardware that can only fit into its parameters. To make better ones, they would have to redesign. Same thing with the cartridges. They're not going to be able to redesign those cartridges. It has to be able to fit, not unless it's sticking out. And I'm sure there's some people who will know how to make them. Where, okay, we used the bottom of a cart and extended it. So now it works. We can have a full game. And I bet you that there might be a black market where people actually make those and manufacture them. It could happen. Said, as long as you're okay with the flap being open, then by all means buy this. And probably half the price, too. So, yeah. I want a Switch, too. And it should be called the Super Nintendo Switch. I want one. I do. But I don't see myself getting one. There's nothing that this offers that makes me want to need to get it now. Because it's not like the transition from the Wii, where the Switch was a whole new thing. These are still going to be available for a while. All the release games are going to be there. There's no reason I need to go get a Switch 2 because my Switch still works. And as long as it still works, and I have plenty of games backlogged, then there's nothing I need to worry about. Not to mention, I always have an issue with launch date consoles. They always get bugs. Always. And once they get reported, then they make the newer consoles better, which might take a year. So, there's that to look forward to. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. It is a little disappointing because for $450, that's before tax, as it is, and before the tariffs. We don't know what's going to happen. I hope that people in other countries have it better. I'm hoping that it won't be too big of a deal. Even after downloading all these games, the system will still have more than 70% of its storage capacity. And you might as well get the 2 terabyte, because you know that at some point you're going to get a lot of games. See, here's what's going to happen. Let me bring up Steam. Let me go ahead and just bring up Steam. The fuck? I don't know what that's all about. Okay, here we go. Path of Exile 2, $30. Core Keeper, $13, 30% off. It's normally $20. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, $70. Oof. But still. Devil May Cry Collection, $10. Devil May Cry 4, $8, 70% off right now. These are both normally about $30. Okay. Big rigs! Hold on. Psychological horror? What the fuck? Hold on. What? Han? Han? Honey? Captain? Hold on. I need to get my wife in there. She needs to see this. Gnomes is 10% off, and it's $8.99. If you think you might be interested in that. It's not going down. Alright. I need to show you something. Alright. Repo is a new game that I've been told about. Dead by Daylight, $8. Played Up. Terraria's $10. Astro Engineer. Borderlands 3. It's right now, it's 90% off. It's $6.
You need to show me something?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, Autumn.
Big rigs, over-the-road racing. Psychological horror, racing, hentai, memes. Two of those tags don't fucking work. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. But that's there. I had to show you this. And it's also $5. Oh my god, that's fucking hilarious. Oh wait. Can they just have
The new track record. Features include 4-inch footage.
hold on. I was hoping it would just be AVGN's ad. I was hoping that would be the case. Like, it's just no, it's just AVGN's when he was doing it. It's not. Damn.
I don't know what to tell you.
This got released on today.
I don't know what to tell you, man.
This got released today. Not only did it get released today, it's also 20% off at release.
I don't know what to tell you.
That's amazing. Anyway, I'm bitching about the Switch 2.
I can tell. Did you get the picture I sent you? Or the pictures I sent you?
I didn't look hard at them.
AVGN.
I saw one. Yeah. Yeah, the nerd glove. Playing red. Yeah. Yeah. Nintendo to their fans after revealing Switch 2 prices.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so they're still having to evaluate that price. But the game keycards.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point if you can't put the whole game on the cartridge? If you have to download it anyway, and then you lock yourself to having to put the cartridge in anyway
Yeah.
to play it. Now you've locked yourself to physical media that doesn't contain a full game.
I don't.
If you have to download it anyway, what do you need the cartridge for? That's an issue. If you can't put the whole game on there, I was thinking, because I looked up cartridges back in the day,
Yes.
and wait, yeah. So old cartridges
Yes.
used to have a whole bunch of space in them. And because of you didn't know necessarily what hardware you would need, you had plenty of space to like make the hardware work, which is what these are and why there's so much empty space. Like Mario Bros. This is all the space it took up in this whole thing.
Yeah.
Same thing with the Super Nintendo, although smaller, it still, didn't fill up the whole cartridge most of the time. I think they designed themselves into a corner where they have the size of the Switch cartridge,
Mm-hmm.
but because it's that big, it's harder to fit that technology in there. So it's harder to make the small stuff fit more small stuff in there. So now they don't have anywhere to expand. I think that's what's happened. I think if they had made bigger cartridges, which wouldn't have to be that much bigger,
No.
but just enough that if they needed more room, they had it. So I think they designed themselves into a corner, and that's why they're having to do these key cards. Because if you have to download it anyway, why would you spend full price upwards to $90 on it?
Yeah.
Man, yeah. There's so much I like about the Switch 2, but I just can't justify it. Like, it doesn't offer enough. Oh, and that Nintendo app,
Yeah.
where it has that Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom
Yes.
thing, that's way too late.
Yes, it is.
Because almost everyone who's been playing them has been playing them long enough that they're done.
Yes.
For the most part. You're gonna have people using it plenty,
Yeah.
but like for us, we're almost done with both of them.
Yeah.
Together. And we used online assets already. So that should have been there a much longer time ago. So I don't see that one going anywhere either. I feel like they're not gonna. Now there is one for Animal Crossing. Oh, not to mention the one for Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom only works on the Switch 2 versions. Or for the Switch 2 versions.
Okay.
So you can't use it on your Switch or on our Switches, regular ones. But we can on like New Horizons if we want to play that. So we can use the apps for the regular Switch on that. Yeah, I feel like they're locking themselves out of a lot of stuff, and a lot of stuff they didn't think of until late. So, yeah. Just, like I said, there's some great stuff, but damn it, man. Not to mention, I wouldn't mind just having cartridges that have their own internal save data. Either. That'd be fine, too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the Switch 2 camera. You want to know how much it is?
How much?
$50.
Why?
Because it has the Nintendo seal of approval, I guess? Let me get down to it, make sure I'm not bullshitting. Yeah, $50.
Yeah, no thank you.
There's one thing I'm worried about. that they won't allow for third-party cameras.
Yeah.
Because third-party cameras are gonna probably be sold, and these little cameras aren't gonna be all that good.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that.
And also, if these cameras are, like, I mean, and I mean that in general, like, the third-party cameras aren't gonna be all that good in quality. What I would like is, if these are good cameras, that you should be able to use them on your computer, too.
Yeah. I'm thinking.
At least that's what I think. Hell, you could use it for on your phone. It should be just able to be used as a camera. A cheap, affordable camera with a stand. I would love that. The dock, if you just need a dock set, it's $110. Yeah. So, actually, the only thing that was like a particularly good deal,
Mm-hmm.
you get 2 of these wheels, these Joy-Con 2 wheels,
Mm-hmm.
for $20
That's not too
for a
bad.
set of 2. That's a pretty good deal. Oh, and if you ever need it, they also sell the straps separately. $13, but that's not bad considering they could be easy to break or lose.
Yeah. Right.
I don't know why the charging grip right here,
Yeah.
I don't see any reason it should be $40 fucking dollars.
Hey, easy you too.
Baines. The Joy-Cons are going to be $90. The Switch Pro 2 Pro controller is $80. Yeah.
Now they're just trying to milk their customers dry.
That's what it feels like, right? And I'm like, and the prices might hike up, and I'm just like, nah. I think what's going to happen is a lot of people aren't going to buy it. I'm hoping what happens is, with all the stuff, like the GameCube will not be on the regular Switches.
Really?
Really. That means there's a part of our online membership that we can't access.
That's absolute bullshit.
It is bullshit. Now, that they might retract. if they don't sell Switches the way they think, hell, you might get some people that cancel their membership.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's like the thing they were looking forward to, but they're not going to buy a Switch 2. If it's on the online membership, it should be available. Because we can still download the fucking Switch app. The Nintendo Switch app.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't know, man. I got the Nintendo Music app. I think that's good, even though I don't think they front-loaded it properly.
Whoops.
Which that's also a better app than Spotify right now.
Not denying that.
Because Spotify, you remember,
Yes, I
now
did.
enjoy 30 minutes of ad-free music.
It did it to me too, don't worry.
Yeah, apparently that's a rampant problem that people have been complaining about lately, since like 21. There's no lawsuits or anything, but there's been a growing concern about it. There's a lot of people who've been dropping their subscriptions, or been dropping their use of it rather. Because if you already don't have a subscription if you're doing ads.
Yeah. Well, I think I'm gonna go to the living room.
Okay, you brought all the cats in.
That's not my fault.
That is your fault.
No.
You're the pussy magnet.
Yeah, right.
Okay. All right. So that be that. Man, I wonder what else I can see. Listen, and the games are, I really want access to. I don't think that you should put too big of a paywall. If you're providing a service, because the games that are on the online membership, they're on a server, right? They're already on a server, so it's not like you're paying for something somewhat within reason, I guess. It's on a position where they have to host it, and that's where it is. You're not just downloading the whole thing, as far as I know. Correct me if I'm wrong. Absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, keep in mind, you can go online. You can get emulators for everything that work better, work faster. and are more conducive, and get them for free and put them on your computer, not just your console. Not to mention, there are some that you can get that can be plugged into your computer and plugged into your TV directly with whatever controller you want. So, yeah. I wouldn't mind the increased cost. I really wouldn't. I don't think it's going to be worth this much. Because it seems like what they're doing is they're capping things in a certain way. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Switch 2. But I feel like many of the games for the Switch should be going down. I feel like Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, I feel like that game for the Switch should not be over $60. Keep in mind what we used to do is games were coded in a way that if we needed to switch from one medium to another, it was given that ability. Even the GameCube had games that were 2 discs long. So I really think that they could have made a system where it wasn't hard to do, or it wasn't so hard to try and fit everything in one. It may seem super inconvenient, but I think it's a small enough inconvenience for me to get up, particularly for, really big games like Tales of Symphonia, because that was a big enough game it needed 2 discs. Like, you really got to look into it. There's ways around this. I am very hard pressed for physical media generally. I think physical media, generally speaking, is king. But I also believe in preservation for things that you just can't get. It's hard to get physical media. It's generally more expensive. It's hard to come by. Especially the older games. Anything that's remotely rare or remotely sought after is often hard to get. It's hard to justify the cost. It's hard to get past people who will fucking jump that shit up for no good reason. So, yeah. I can't say that I'm that surprised about it. I want the Switch 2. For one thing, there's probably going to be a better version of the Switch 2 after, 5 months. Give or take. Maybe a year. There will be a better version that fixes all the bugs, where they had to redesign the insides of it a little bit. Probably. It'll be one that's a little bit bigger, with its own dock. It'll be effectively like the other Switches. Like the Switch 2 XL. Something like that. And once you get to that point, that's when you can start seeing, oh, can I justify the cost of getting a $500 console? Keep in mind, people were pissed off about that even with the PlayStation. Because there were a lot of people who, because the PlayStation was so expensive, they just got a Switch. But let's face it, when you have games where you can just jump in and find how many of these games for less than $10, Phasmophobia is 20. Grand Theft Auto 5 is 30. Counter-Strike 2 is free to play. Fallout 76 is $40. Bulletro is currently 14. You still got No Man's Sky at 60. Civilization, Resident Evil 4, Hollow Knight, Brotato. Assassin's Creed Odyssey is $60 still. Like, this is one of the few that's actually $70. You got Halo Master Chief Collection. What all does this entail? This includes 6 great Halo games. So, Halo Master Chief Collection, Halo Reach, Halo Combat Evolved, Halo 2, Halo 3, Halo ODS 3, ODST. I believe one of these is the first one. I think Combat Evolved is the effective first one. Alright. So, yeah, this is what's going to happen, is you're going to push people into the hands of these indie developers. You know, the Binding of Isaac is still 15. Oh, Left 4 Dead, $10. Metaphor, Dredge, Valheim, also Torment, yeah. Skyrim is $40. Spore, NGU Idle. There's plenty of idle games. Fate. Ooh, I never played Fate. Starbound is $6. It's like Space Terraria, from what I understand. It's like Advanced Terraria. Oblivion is 15. Elder Scrolls Online is 20. Undertale is 10. The Sims 3 is now 20. Peggle's $5. Cookie Clicker is $5 for some reason. Fuck. Factorio. 35. Rust is $40. Dragon Wilds. Babe. Is that free? Open world? Oh, it's RuneScape. Okay. Free to play. Once Human. Jesus. It looks good. Don't Starve Together. $15. You're not going to be able to beat this if you start pissing off the people who can pay for it. Alright. Valve Index or VR kit, $1,000. Jesus. Alien. Oh, here we go. Hello Kitty Island Adventure is $40. So yeah, I mean, Rain World, Hollow Knight, Red Dead Redemption 2 is 75% off. Normally $60, is now $15. How are you going to fight that? You're going to push people into Steam, Galaxy of Games, online playlists, all the free games, all the super cheap games. That's what's going to happen. Alright, I gotta get going. I've got to take a massive shit. So, thank you for watching. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, and follow, and all that jazz. Take a look at my links. You can find me on Twitter. Twitter twice? I've got a Patreon, Facebook, Twitter, Blue Sky, Reddit, and stuff. I don't have much else. If you think I should get other stuff, then by all means. But Yeah. Alright. But yeah, that's enough bitching from me. I think I bitched for 4 hours. So, pretty sure you're tired of hearing my shit. So thank you for watching, once again. And always remember, you have potential. Good night.